City streets, night. A young man, Ethan, sits on his scooter. He's a food delivery boy, exhausted, his face etched with the hardship of his life. He's 22, but looks older. He looks up at the dark sky, then down at his phone. A memory crosses his mind. When we filled out our college applications, we promised to aim for Peking University together. But I deliberately scored 0 on the Chinese exam. I got 600 points and lost my chance at Peking. She went abroad to study. She doesn't know I never went to university. I dropped out and started delivering food on a scooter. That night, on my last delivery, I was exhausted. The streets were slick with rain. I rounded a corner. A massive white Range Rover barreled around the same corner too fast and clipped the back of my scooter. I was thrown to the asphalt, pain exploding in my shoulder and ribs. The Range Rover screeched to a halt. A woman stepped out. She was stunningly beautiful, dressed in a dark pantsuit, her hair perfect. She wore striking red high heels that clicked on the wet pavement. She crouched beside me, her voice anxious and hurried. She asked if I was okay. She said she was so sorry she hadn't been paying attention. She didn't look at my face, just at my prone body. She opened an expensive clutch purse and pulled out a thick wad of cash, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 yuan. She thrust it into my hand and told me to go to the hospital. She had an urgent matter. Then she stood to leave, hesitated, crouched back down, rummaged for a pen and a sticky note, scribbled a number, and handed it to me, along with her ID card. "Call me anytime. My name is Sophia Lin." Then she was gone. The whole encounter lasted maybe a minute. I struggled to my feet. I was bruised, but nothing felt broken. My scooter's front wheel was bent. I pushed it home. At my apartment, I sat on a wooden stool, dabbing Yunnan Baiyao on my scraped hands and knees. The cash and ID card were on the table. The clock showed midnight. I stared at the phone number. After a long pause, I dialed. No answer. I waited a minute, dialed again. I scowled and dialed a third time. Finally, she picked up. Her voice was impatient and groggy. "Who is this? Make it quick," I said calmly. "You hit me with your car a little while ago." Her tone changed instantly, full of apologies. "I'm so sorry. Which hospital are you in? What did the doctor say?" I said I wasn't badly hurt, but my scooter was banged up. "That's good you're okay. I'll pay for the scooter. How much?" "The money you gave me is enough for repairs, but I still have your ID. When can you come get it?" Her voice turned tentative. "Now? Is now okay? I'm a bit tied up. Could I send a friend?" I said sure, and gave her my address. I hung up. 20 minutes later, a loud bang on my door. I opened it. 4 men stood in the hallway. The one in front was about my age, with a cruel, arrogant face. Behind him were 3 much larger men, like thugs. The young man sneered and asked if I was the one who called. I said yes. He impatiently asked if Sophia's ID was here. I started to say it was right here. Before I could finish, he punched me in the face, then kicked me in the stomach. I didn't even understand what was happening. I was knocked to the ground. I tried to get up, but he kept kicking me. Soon, I tasted blood in my mouth. My roommate Leo Martinez opened his bedroom door, took one look, and quickly shut it again. The man stepped on my arm with his leather shoe and asked coldly where the ID was. I wanted to speak, but half my face was numb. He turned to the 3 behind him and told them to go inside and find the ID and the note. He glanced at the ID, pocketed it with satisfaction, and pressed his foot harder on my arm. "You blind dog, how dare you hit my car? I'll say this now, if you ever bother that woman again, I will kill you." He kicked me one more time and turned to leave. But before reaching the door, he seemed to remember something. He went back into my bedroom, grabbed my phone, and smashed it on the floor. Only when he was sure it was completely destroyed did he swagger out. After they left, I sat alone by the bed. A cheap cigarette smoldered between my fingers. I couldn't understand why the world was so unfair. Why did she leave her ID, only to send people to beat me up? I had to ask her, what exactly did she want? The rain outside grew heavier, as if it wouldn't stop all night. When the sun rose, this city would have one more lost soul like me. At dawn, I packed my belongings into a suitcase. The landlord evicted me, thinking I hung out with unsavory people. My suitcase sat on my beat-up scooter. All I had left was the 2,600 yuan from Sophia. Last month I had sent all my pay home for my father's medical treatment. Out of that 2,600, I spent 800 on a cheap smartphone so I could keep delivering food. The rest was for rent. If I couldn't find a place by dark, I'd sleep under a bridge. I put my SIM card into the new phone. As soon as it powered on, I got a call from my big bro Oliver Wells, full name Biscuit Oliver. Oliver was a character. My grandfather had found him abandoned by the roadside and brought him home. He was 6 years older than me. Over the years, he'd done plenty of petty crimes. If you had to describe him in 4 words, it would be notoriously infamous. I squatted on the curb and answered. Oliver said he had gotten a traditional Chinese medicine doctor's contact for my father. He would crash at my place tonight and take the train home tomorrow. My heart sank. If Oliver found out I had no place to stay, what would he think? And if he told my parents, they'd worry themselves sick. Plus, my face was still bruised. With Oliver's personality, he'd dig until he got the truth. I stammered, telling him not to come find me, that I was swamped with work. But he insisted, saying my mom had sent a basket of homegrown eggs. He said he would call me when he got there, and hung up. Finding an apartment within 2 hours was impossible, so I booked a cheap hotel near the station for him, so he wouldn't insist on staying with me. 2 hours later, I met Oliver at the station. He wore a fake Nike t-shirt, his muscles bulging, a new tattoo on his arm. The moment he saw me, he froze. "Ethan, what happened? Did you get into a fight?" I lied. "I just fell." He didn't believe me. "Who falls like that? Someone hit you and you're too scared to say?" I knew my big bro was seasoned, hard to trick. I changed the subject, telling him to come on, let's find him a place to stay, and that this afternoon I would go with him to pick up the herbs. Oliver said nothing and just walked beside me. In the small hotel room I had booked, I told him to stay there, and after we got the medicine I would go to work. I asked him not to tell Mom and Dad about me getting hit, but Oliver wouldn't let it go. He pressed me. Frustrated, I muttered that I didn't even know why they hit me. Then I told him everything from the night before. I reminded him not to tell our parents. Oliver sat in silence for a few minutes, then said he wouldn't tell them. He pulled out 2,000 yuan and handed it to me, then another 2,000. "Find a decent apartment in a good neighborhood. Take care of yourself." He spoke in a commanding tone. "Take it if I give it. Don't argue. This afternoon, I'll get the medicine, and you find a place to live." I could feel how much he genuinely cared. I agreed. My father has kidney disease. All those medical bills had drained the family. Even though Grandpa left a few tens of thousands, Oliver didn't take a cent. It all went to Dad's treatment. Oliver might be a drifter, but his character is solid. That afternoon, I found a shared 3-bedroom apartment for 700 yuan a month. The other tenants were a couple and a single girl. I rented it. By 4 o'clock, Oliver texted he was waiting at the hotel. We would have dinner together, and he would take the train home early the next morning. As I was leaving to meet him, I ran into the single girl. She was just getting off work, dressed in a professional suit. The short blazer made her look especially elegant. As she bent down to change her shoes, I caught a glimpse through her collar. I swear I didn't mean to, but I couldn't look away. When she straightened up, she caught me staring. She glared at me with disgust, called me a pervert, clutched her collar, and walked away. After dinner with Oliver, I stayed at the hotel. The next morning, I saw him off and went back to delivering food. I worked until 11:30 p.m. My last order surprised me. It was from someone in my own building, Ivy Lane. I carried the takeout home. The couple wasn't there. Ivy's light was on. I knocked. She opened in loungewear, saw me, and her expression soured. She instinctively covered her neckline and spoke with disgust. I lifted the bag and said it was her dinner. She snatched it and threw it directly into the trash can by the door. There was a bowl of soup in the order, and when she grabbed it, some spilled onto my jeans. She stepped back and slammed the door. On my phone, I received a bad review. "Why did you hand my food to someone else? How irresponsible can you be?" A bad review meant a 300 yuan deduction. I might not even earn 300 yuan in a shift. I had worked like a dog, and one bad review sent me back to square one. Around noon on Wednesday, I got an unexpected call from Oliver. I thought he was going to talk about home. I pulled my scooter to the side of the road. He said, "I'm at the intersection of Wanghua Road and Renmin Road. Finish that order, then come over." I asked where he was. "Small garden, where you got hit. Come here and tell me exactly where that Range Rover hit you." I had a bad feeling. "Didn't you go home? Why are you back in Kunming?" He said, "I'm going to make this right for you. If you don't come, I'll just check a few security cameras myself." I was speechless. After finishing my delivery, I went to meet him. I found him squatting by the roadside at the small garden intersection, staring at the cameras. When he saw me, He asked where exactly I got hit. I pointed across the street. Right there. Big bro, let it go. We don't know anyone here. But he said he would find the license plate and the people. He lowered his head and walked off. I called after him, asking if he was coming to my place tonight. Without turning around, he said, "Don't worry about me." I watched him disappear into the crowd. My heart raced. Those people drove a Range Rover and carried expensive bags. Oliver was a stranger in Kunming. Investigating like that was asking for trouble. But I couldn't talk him out of it. 3 nights later, Oliver called again. He told me to get to the Chelly Fang auto shop within half an hour. When I found him, he was squatting in an inconspicuous corner by a flower bed. Diagonally across from him was the white Range Rover from that night. The scratch marks were still there. I was stunned. I urged him to let it go. He said flatly, "No, today we're settling this." It was past 8 in the evening, but the area was lively. Not a place for settling scores. He handed me a pack of cigarettes, pointed to a black Santana with a steel pipe wrapped in tape in the driver's side door pocket. "Get in. We'll wait." Inside, I felt tense. I hated them for bullying me, but the thought of hitting someone made me nervous. I tried to persuade Oliver not to cause trouble. He ignored me. Around 9:15, the main players appeared. Jason Shaw, the man who had beaten me, and Sophia Lin walked side by side to the Range Rover. Jason got in the driver's side. Oliver asked coldly, "That's them?" I took a deep breath. Yes. Oliver's eyes locked on the Range Rover. It pulled out, and he followed. On a quiet remote road, Oliver sped past, cut off the Range Rover, and slammed on his brakes, angling the car to block it. Jason got out, furious, kicked the Santana's door and yelled. Oliver shoved his door open, hitting Jason. Then Oliver got out with the pipe and swung at Jason's head. Jason blocked with his arm. Oliver kicked him. Jason stumbled back and half collapsed onto the curb, pale and silent. All his arrogance was gone. Sophia got out and hurried to Jason. She crouched beside him, then looked up at Oliver. "Who are you?" Oliver turned to me. "Come here." I walked over nervously. "Big bro, that's enough, let's go." Sophia didn't recognize me. That night I had worn my delivery uniform and helmet. Now she looked at me and Oliver, with obvious fear. "What do you want?" Oliver crouched, pressed the pipe against Jason's thigh, and said, "You beat up Ethan, smashed his phone. 5,000 yuan, transfer it now. Do that, and this is over." Jason didn't respond. Oliver laughed coldly. "Don't transfer, and you won't leave here in one piece." Sophia opened her purse, pulled out cash, and shoved it into Oliver's hands. "Don't hurt him. I'll give you everything I have." Oliver glanced at it. "That's about right. This is settled for now. Don't think you can bully people just because you have money. If you're not satisfied, come find me." He gave his phone number, put away the pipe, and said to me, "Let's go. If he bothers you again, I'll cripple him." I glanced at Sophia. She was beautiful, delicate features words couldn't describe. As I looked at her, she was looking at me. For a moment our eyes met. I felt ashamed. I looked away and got in the car. Oliver asked if I was scared. 2 shoulders, 1 head. Don't be afraid. Fight back. I was annoyed. In all my years in Kunming, I had kept my head down, avoiding arguments and fights. I just wanted to work hard and save for my father's transplant. Seeing me silent, Oliver comforted me. "Don't look so miserable. If he bothers you again, I'll deal with him until he's had enough." He told me to drop him off at the next intersection and shove the money into my hands. About 6,000 yuan. He said he would stay in Kunming for a while, and to call him if I needed anything. I asked what he would do. "Not delivering food. Remember, hit back. Don't be a coward." I got out at the intersection and wandered the midnight streets. The money felt too easy, so easy, it made me uneasy. I even thought about contacting Sophia to return it and explain the misunderstanding. I also fantasized about getting to know her. Then I laughed at myself. How could I hope for the attention of a goddess? The next day, I slept in. I opened the delivery app. My first order was a big one, 40 box lunches to the Katy International Hotel. I carried 20 boxes up to the 29th floor conference room. The girl who placed the order told me to put them on the table. I went back for the rest. When I returned with the remaining boxes, I froze. Sophia Lin was standing in the crowd. Our eyes met. A man opened a box, handed it to her, and said, "You've worked hard, Miss Lin. Please eat first." My scalp tingled. Just yesterday, Oliver and I had beaten up her boyfriend, and now I was delivering food to her turf. I put the boxes down and rushed to the elevator. When the doors opened, 4 security guards stood outside. I tried to walk out calmly. 2 guards blocked me. "Come with us." I shouted that they had no right to detain me. The lobby manager told onlookers that a guest had reported a theft and that I was a suspect. No one believed my protests. They locked me in a room, took my phone, and tied me to a chair. A fat guard threatened to stuff his unwashed socks in my mouth. I shut up. Hours later, Sophia came with 5 people. She frowned when she saw me tied. They untied me. She sent everyone out. "What's your grudge with Jason? Why did you hurt him so badly?" I asked if she was playing dumb. She said, "Can't you just talk things out?" I asked to explain. She said she had no time and told me to stop harassing Jason. That got on my nerves. "You had your people tie me up for 3 or 4 hours just to say that." She shot back. My anger flared. "The first box lunch you ate today?" I took several bites out of it. "You ate my leftovers, and I spit in it." Her eyes widened. She covered her mouth and ran to the bathroom. I grabbed my phone and walked out. Outside, my delivery account was suspended. I was fired. I spat at the hotel. Security guards rushed out, tackled me, and threw me into a van. Sophia sat in the second row. They tied me again. I asked what she wanted. She said if Jason got hurt, she would take me to court. "Who is Jason?" "My brother. Oliver kidnapped him. I'm taking you to trade." We drove to a rundown warehouse. Oliver sat at a table with Jason and several beaten men. Jason was bruised. Sophia ran to him. Oliver looked surprised. The fat guard kicked me out of the van. 2 guards dragged me up. Oliver stood up. "What's going on?" Sophia asked if he had beaten her brother. Jason interrupted. "This isn't their fault. 5 of us couldn't beat him alone." I deserved it. I couldn't believe it. Oliver had taken them all down, and Jason was genuinely convinced. Oliver told Sophia, "You captured my nephew. Call it even. Release him, and I'll let you go." The fat guard tried to show off. Sophia glared at him. She begged Jason to stop causing trouble. Her eyes filled with tears. Jason panicked. "I'm sorry. I won't cause any more trouble." I called out, "Untie me first." They did. I explained everything. Sophia hit me. Jason beat me and smashed my phone. The hotel falsely accused me. Sophia was shocked. She apologized and offered compensation. I refused. Oliver suggested she give me a job instead. Sophia and I both said no. "My company doesn't want someone with bad character," she muttered. Oliver asked why. She stammered. "He ate my lunch and gave me his leftovers." I laughed and said to Oliver, "Let's go. I'll find another job." I told Sophia and Jason, "This is over, right?" Jason said, "I respect you, Oliver. If you ever need anything, just say the word." Oliver drove me back. He asked my plans. I said I'd find something. He reminded me to call them. I squatted by the curb, feeling lost. A stray dog sat beside me. Ivy Lane fed that dog every day. Because of it, Ivy and I made up and became friendly. The next morning, I realized my scooter was still at the hotel. I went back. The fat guard was on duty. He mocked me. Sophia's Range Rover pulled up. She asked what I was doing. "Looking for my scooter." The fat guard said city management had taken it. I was furious. Sophia told him to bring me to her office. In her office, she offered to pay for the scooter. I refused money. "I want my scooter." I said no. Called her sad for only caring about money, and walked out. She said, "Then I owe you a favor. Call me if you need help that doesn't violate my principles." Outside, I regretted my pride, but I had her number again. Later, very close, in our liberal arts class, there were few boys, and we sat in the front row by grades. Every exam, Jay and I were either first or second. After graduation, Jay scored 590 and got into Yunnan University. I scored over 600, but chose not to go. My family couldn't afford it, and my father's kidney disease needed constant treatment. I wanted to work and help support the family. For the first few years after Jay came to Kunming for university, and I came for work, we hung out often, but our social circles diverged, and we didn't stay as close. Still, the bond remained. Seeing Jay's post, I commented, "Happy birthday, buddy." He quickly replied, "Ethan, are you free tonight? Can you come to my birthday party? It's been almost half a year." I wrote back, "More like 8 or 9 months. You're graduating soon?" He said he could leave campus and was looking for an internship. I asked if he had any good leads. He said he majored in business administration, had turned down some offers, and wanted to find a hotel management job. "Bring your girlfriend. I want to see you doing well." If I had gone to university, maybe I could chat lightly about wanting a hotel management job too. Some people choose their path, others are chosen. Girlfriend? Where would I find one? Then I remembered. Sophia owed me a favor. Could I bring her to dinner and introduce her to Jay? She was the general manager of the Katy International Hotel. Even if she couldn't get Jay a job, she could at least provide a referral. I called Sophia. She answered and asked, "Are you regretting it, coming back for the 20,000? Can you be normal?" I teased. "In your eyes, do I only call for money?" She laughed openly. "Then what do you want?" "You promised me a favor, as long as it doesn't violate your principles. You said that, right?" "Yes, what do you want me to do?" "Come with me to a friend's birthday dinner tonight. Just one meal. That doesn't violate your principles, does it? Not unreasonable, right?" "Dinner?" She sounded shocked. "You want me to come eat with you? Do you think I have a lot of free time? If you don't come, I won't force you. At least I'll see what kind of person you really are. Either all about money or someone who doesn't keep her word. Your choice." She was probably annoyed. "Fine, wait for me. I'll have dinner with you tonight. After that, don't bother me again. We'll be even, but you have to promise not to embarrass me." "Of course, I won't do anything inappropriate, just as a friend." She said, "Okay, I understand. See you tonight." I hadn't seen Jay in half a year. At a small shop, I bought a red envelope and put 500 yuan inside. 500 was not a small amount for me. I thought about Jay's friends. They were all college students, probably generous. My small gift might embarrass Jay. But it was all I could do. At 6:15 I arrived at the restaurant. Sophia's white Range Rover was already parked there. When she saw me, she got out and walked over. She was wearing a business suit. I stood at the door and looked her up and down. She glared. "What are you looking at? You didn't tell me what to wear, and I didn't have time to change. I came straight from the office." I smiled. "I didn't expect you in business clothes. You look very elegant." That earned me another glare. I led Sophia into the private room. Jay was sitting at the head of the table, chatting with a guy on his left. There were about 15 people in the room. When Jay saw me, he stood up quickly. "Ethan, you're finally here. We've been waiting for you. Come sit here." He motioned for the guy next to him to move. I took the seat and offered a cigarette to the guy who had moved. He glanced at my cheap red Pagoda brand and didn't take it. He politely pointed to the soft-packed china on the table and said he had his own. Jay introduced me. "Everyone, this is Ethan, my best friend from high school in our county. He was a top student, scored over 600 on the exam." I smiled bitterly. "Forget the past. Happy birthday." I handed him the red envelope. He lightly pinched it, then waved his hand. "Ethan, you're too kind. I didn't invite you for a gift. I just wanted to catch up after half a year. Let's order food and drink." Then he looked at Sophia. "What's her name?" Sophia didn't object to the term. She smiled. "I'm Sophia Lin." Jay said proudly, "I'm Jay Lopez, business administration major at Yunnan University. Ethan and I grew up together." He spoke loudly when stating his school and major, clearly proud. Another guy said, "Let's order first." The room got noisy. Jay handed me his cigarette. "Ethan, if you had insisted on going to college, you wouldn't be delivering food now." "Delivering food?" a girl next to Jay asked with barely concealed disdain. "Which platform? I've seen online that delivery drivers steal food. Is that true?" Before I could answer, another guy jumped in. "You're making a big deal out of nothing. Haven't you seen the video of a delivery guy using a customer's soup as mouthwash and spitting it back in?" My face burned. I didn't dare look at the group or at Sophia beside me. While they chattered, a girl suddenly looked at Sophia and asked, "Are you also a delivery driver?" Sophia smiled. "Ethan and I are both delivery drivers. We're colleagues." The girl said enviously, "It must be hard working outside every day. How do you keep your skin so nice? I envy you." Sophia just smiled and didn't explain, letting the naive students chatter. Jay felt awkward. He quietly comforted me. "Ethan, don't take it personally. They don't mean any harm. Just casual talk." I smiled bitterly. "It's fine. I understand." I wasn't just saying that. After years of struggling in Kunming, I had met all kinds of people. College students are the most unrestrained group. They haven't left campus yet. Few know how to read a room or care about others' feelings. They all act like they're the chosen ones. After 3 rounds of drinks, the conversation grew. Jay asked, "How is your father's condition? Can he get a kidney transplant?" That topic weighed heavily on me. I raised my glass and downed it. No hope. A transplant costs hundreds of thousands. My family can't afford it. And even money isn't enough. You need a matching donor. He's been on conservative treatment, dialysis every week. He's skin and bones. Jay sighed. Back then you scored over 600. Why didn't you insist on going to college? I remember the school held a donation drive for you. That money was for your education. I interrupted. I used it for my father's treatment. Do you regret it? If you had gone, you'd have better options now. I shook my head and lit the cigarette Jay had given me. If I had 100 choices, I'd still use the money for my father. The girl next to Jay, Ruyan Lu, lectured me. Why are you so naive? You should have used the money for school. Get into a good university, earn your degree, then you'd have more job options. Now, besides delivering food, what else can you do? Sophia, who had been quiet, spoke up. Never judge someone you don't know. What you said might be right in some contexts, but not under all conditions. Ruyan rolled her eyes dismissively. Jay tried to stop her. Don't, Ruyan. Ethan's father has been sick for years. His mother takes care of him. His whole family depends on him. Ruyan muttered, short-sighted, under her breath. What could I say? I felt my hand gripping the glass shaking. Then I felt a soft, warm hand on top of mine. I turned and saw Sophia looking at me with gentle eyes. Ruyan glanced at us with contempt, then asked Jay, did you submit the resumes I told you to? I've already received an interview notice. What about you? Jay opened his phone mysteriously and showed her. Look, the interview notice came today, tomorrow morning. Ruyan was thrilled. She kissed Jay on the cheek. I believe we'll both be accepted. A girl across the table asked, what's going on? You're so happy. Ruyan said proudly, Jay and I submitted resumes to our dream hotel, and they just invited us for an interview tomorrow. Everyone raised their glasses to congratulate them. Good education pays off. You can choose the industry you like. After dinner, the next stop was KTV, about 2 kilometers away. When we left the restaurant, Jay's college friends walked ahead. Sophia and I trailed behind. I whispered, you kept your promise. You don't have to stay. Go. Thank you for keeping your word. She asked softly, are you going to KTV with them? I shook my head. I'll find an excuse to leave. No common topics. She pouted. Where are you going? I'll give you a ride. At the restaurant entrance, Jay had already hailed 3 taxis. The first had 4 people, the second 2. A couple was getting into another car. 5 remained. Sophia and me, Jay and Ruyan, and another guy. Ruyan said to Sophia, we can squeeze together. Tell the driver, it's a short ride. Sophia smiled. Thanks, but Ethan and I have something to do. Catch up another time. Jay looked disappointed. Leaving already? Come hang out for a while. It's rare to get together. Ruyan secretly pinched Jay and said, don't force them. This is prime time for late-night deliveries. Don't waste their time. I said to Jay, next time, we're both in Kunming. Let's stay in touch. We'll head back first. All right, Jay said reluctantly. I'll get you a taxi. Take it slow. No need, I haven't been drinking. Sophia pressed her key fob. The white Range Rover parked nearby flashed its lights. She waved politely to Jay. Goodbye. Jay and Ruyan's expressions stiffened. Sophia and I walked side by side toward the Range Rover. As I opened the door, I heard Ruyan behind me say bitterly, your old friend is really something. Must be borrowing that car to save face. I didn't hear the rest, because I was already inside. I leaned back and closed my eyes. I couldn't see my future, but I felt tears roll down my cheeks. When the pressure of life suffocates you, the only thing to do is lick your wounds in the dark. I didn't want Sophia to see my tears, so I rolled down the window and let the wind dry them. The car stopped outside the Paris Spring complex. I got out and said goodbye. As I turned to leave, Sophia called out, Ethan, do I still owe you anything? I stopped and turned. I shook my head. No. She smiled with relief. Good. Goodbye. I slept until late the next morning, woken by a phone call. It was Sophia. Are you still sleeping? So lazy, I mumbled. What does my laziness have to do with you? Can you help me with something? What? Come to my office, I'll tell you. If you want to refuse, I won't force you. I hesitated for a few seconds. Wait, I'll be there in half an hour. Tell your guard dogs not to bite me. She laughed. Like you've ever been bitten. In her office, Sophia was working at her desk. I stood in front of her, hands on the desk. What important matter requires my skills? She put down the mouse, leaned back, and crossed her arms. Human Resources is interviewing a few people today. I want you to help. You'll act as our HR director. Tell me if these candidates are usable. I stared at her. You're joking, right? Me as an interviewer? I'm serious. The candidates are here. If you're willing to help, you can start now. My assistant Xiaoru will assist you. It's not hard. Just look at them. If you get a good feeling, they can stay for the internship. If not, you can turn them away. All based on feeling. I didn't understand. Why do you want me to do this? Do you have some special motive? She smiled enigmatically, stood up and said, Go. I'll have Xiaoru take you to HR. Curious, I followed Xiaoru to the interview office. 4 resumes were on the desk. Xiaoru explained, these 4 passed the initial screening, but we can only keep 2. Look over their resumes. I'll call them in one by one. You decide which 2 stay. That's what Ms. Lin wants. The first resume was a 26-year-old with 2 years of hotel management experience. Graduated from Southwest University of Political Science and Law. The second was a girl, business administration major, nothing special in education, but her personal statement was very humble and low-key. When I opened the third resume, I was shocked. It was J. Lopez. I quickly opened the fourth. It had Ruyen Liu's photo. Last night at dinner, they had been so excited about their interview invitation. The hotel was the Katy International Hotel, and Sophia had asked me to interview them. What was she playing at? I thought for a moment, then I understood her intention. Xiaoru returned. I've arranged it. Should I call them in? I nodded. Call all 4 in at the same time. At the same time? She looked surprised and a bit skeptical, as if wondering if I knew what I was doing. Yes, all 4 together. She didn't argue and left. When she returned, all 4 candidates followed. Xiaoru introduced me. This is our HR director Chen. Which 2 stay is up to him. She sat beside me and began typing on her computer. Ethan, Jay exclaimed involuntarily. Am I seeing this right? I smiled and nodded. My eyes swept over them. Ruyen had poorly concealed excitement on her face, as if she had already won. I said formally, Please sit. I've seen your resumes. Getting through our company's multiple rounds of interviews shows you're among the best. Even if you don't get the position, it proves you're excellent. However, we only have 2 spots. Ruyen said proudly, Looks like it'll be Jay and me. That drew a dissatisfied look from the other guy. Jay quickly pulled Ruyen's sleeve. Don't talk nonsense. He apologized to the guy. The other girl, Bai Peipei, showed no reaction, as if she hadn't heard. I took a sip of water and continued. The final question is simple. If your monthly salary is 5,000 won, and you have 3 housing options. First, a single room in an urban village for 500 won per month. Second, sharing an apartment in a residential complex for 1,000 won per month. Third, renting an entire apartment in a complex for 2,500 won per month. Which would you choose? Ruyen answered first. I'd take the 2,500 won apartment, good environment, private living space. Jay scratched his head. I'd share an apartment in a residential complex. The third girl, Bai Peipei, spoke softly. Her voice was gentle. I'd also choose to share. A good living environment is important, and the people you share with would probably have similar income and values. You'd get along and expand your social circle. The last guy said firmly, I'd choose the urban village. 5,000 isn't much. Better to spend money on socializing than on housing. They had all given their answers. I said to Xiaoru, That's it for today. Xiaoru asked, So which 2 will stay? The results will be announced tomorrow morning. Everyone go home and wait for a call. Xiaoru stood up. Thank you all. Director Chen's decision will be called out tomorrow. Please follow me. She led them out. The guy went first, then Bai Peipei. Ruyen, seeing the others leave, suddenly rushed to my desk. Her face was excited. Ethan, aren't you a delivery driver? How come you're here? This interview is great. Jay and me, we can start next week, right? I didn't know what to say. I said to Jay, I'll call you after work. Ruyen clung to Jay's arm and said confidently, Your friend is actually the HR director of Katy Hotel. Why didn't you tell me? Ethan is really something. You should stay in touch with him. After they left, I sat in thought for a moment, then went to Sophia's office. When I entered, she was watching something on her computer. I heard my own voice. Seeing me, she smiled. Not bad, Ethan. That last question was very clever. You can see a lot about a person from how they choose housing. I frowned. You were watching? She turned her screen toward me. I was watching live. Now I'm watching the replay. The interview room had a camera. I was speechless. Was that distrust? I was about to speak when she explained. Don't misunderstand. Our interview room always has a camera. Sometimes we get many candidates and can't decide on the spot. HR needs to review the footage multiple times before deciding. Ruyen is arrogant and lacks manners. She's not worth cultivating. Bai Peipei is a good person, humble in her resume and speech, good image, high approachability. Jay lacks work experience, but his values are solid. Personal relationship aside, I recommend you keep him. As for whether Jay will be upset if Ruyan isn't kept, I won't use your kindness to do something bad for your company. That's why I didn't announce the decision today. The final choice is yours. Sophia leaned back and looked at me. I was surprised when I saw the resumes this morning. What a coincidence, so I called you. From last night's delivery driver to today's HR director, that simple change made some people treat you completely differently. This society is very realistic, and the people in it are very hypocritical. I understand your intention. You wanted me to regain some self-respect and confidence in front of my friends, but you also put me in a difficult position. Jay and Ruyan both think I can decide their fate. That's awkward. She shrugged. If it's too hard, then keep both Jay and Ruyan. I don't care. Katie Hotel employs over 100 people. One more Ruyan doesn't matter. It's up to you. I looked at her, not knowing what to say. I turned toward the door and said over my shoulder, "You handle it. I'm leaving. Don't ruin me. I'm not playing along anymore." "Wait," she called after me. "If your best friend Jay can't understand why you wouldn't keep Ruyan and gets mad at you, then he's not worth keeping as a friend. He knows what Ruyan is like. Also, do you think Jay will be happy with such a hypocritical girl? Of course, we outsiders have no right to judge their relationship, but when it comes to obvious character flaws, shouldn't you say something to your friend?" I listened, but didn't want to respond. I opened the office door. Behind me, Sophia said, "Since you started this, finish it. I don't want you to quit halfway. Just like I stayed through that dinner I hated so much. Tomorrow, you announce the results. If you don't come, I'll hire both Jane and Ruyan to save your face in front of your friends." Sophia's kindness had given me a hot potato. I didn't know how to face Jay and Ruyan. I could ignore Ruyan's feelings, but I didn't want to put Jay in an awkward position. Tonight's dinner might be very awkward. Even knowing that, I couldn't avoid it. At 4:30 p.m., Jay called and asked what time I got off work. I told him I was free. He was very happy and asked where we should meet. He wanted to drink. I told him to come to a small restaurant near Paris Spring. I would be the host. He said he'd come right away and hung up. I didn't know what would happen tonight. Would our 15 years of friendship break or strengthen? I had no way of knowing. Over the years, we had both changed and our social circles had drifted apart. Some things were hard to say. I could only pray. At 5:30, Jay and Ruyan arrived at the restaurant. I felt very nervous. I wanted to preserve our friendship, but I also didn't want to betray Sophia's kindness. I was caught in a dilemma. After a few dishes were served, they talked about nothing but Katie Hotel. What the environment was like, the salary, the company structure. I didn't know many answers and couldn't respond, so I awkwardly smiled and changed the subject. Both Jay and Ruyan noticed my evasiveness. The meal was half awkward, oppressive. Ruyan was the first to crack. She held her chopsticks and said in a strange tone, "Jay, Ethan doesn't seem too willing to let you work at Katie." "Don't think that way," I said. "Whether you get to work at Katie isn't my decision." Ruyan insisted. "You interviewed us today." "I heard Xiaoru is the general manager's assistant. She said you decide who stays. How is it not your decision?" I felt like I couldn't clear my name even if I jumped into the Yellow River. Jay looked at me earnestly. "Ethan, this job is very important to Ruyan and me. There are several 5-star hotels in Kunming, but after comparing, we found Katie is the best for our development." I didn't understand. Why Katie specifically? Jay leaned in mysteriously. "You work at Katie, so you must have heard. The old boss, Li Daejong, died in a plane crash in Hawaii without leaving a will. I heard the person now managing Katie is his illegitimate daughter. She's making big changes and building her own team. She needs fresh blood. We chose Katie because of that. Chaos creates heroes. Ruyan and I want to take that chance. Better to go to a turbulent environment and prove our worth than a calm one." I understood Jay's thinking. It was indeed a chance to shine. But I really didn't want to hire Ruyan against my conscience. I said tactfully, "A calm work environment isn't bad either. Less backstabbing." Jay looked at me seriously. "Ethan, if you can, please keep both of us. I'm counting on you." I didn't give him a clear answer at the table. I just told them to wait for the phone call. I remembered the day at the abandoned warehouse, when Sophia said to Jason, "I promised to take good care of you." If I was right, the illegitimate daughter, Jay mentioned, was likely Sophia herself. Back home I went to the balcony and called Sophia. "It's about the hiring. Jay and Ruyan took me to dinner tonight. You can guess what they said. Let's end this joke here. Going further would be too much." You watch the interview footage, you know better than I who should stay. Jay and Bai Pei are the most suitable, at least in my opinion. Please clear up this misunderstanding. I stayed through being treated like a delivery driver and all those insults because I kept my promise. Now you promise to help me with one thing, and you want to quit halfway? Don't do this. I know you wanted to help me save face. I truly appreciate your kindness, but now this has turned into something real, and it's about to hurt my friendship. Sophia's tone was firm. You can choose not to hurt it. Hire both Jay and Ruyan. I gave you that right. Why are you so stubborn? It's your company. Are you joking? No. Her voice was either angry or deliberately provoking. I'm getting revenge for what you did to my lunch. Tomorrow morning, come to my office and make the calls yourself. Notify 2 of them to come register for work. Then you'll have fulfilled your promise. If you consider yourself a man, don't quit halfway. She hung up. I felt like I was on a pirate ship with no way off. I lay in bed thinking about what to do. A dilemma. No matter what I did, it would be wrong. The next morning in Sophia's office, I really disliked the way she looked at me, teasing. On the desk was a landline phone. She sat across from me on the sofa, holding a cup of coffee, looking very pleased. I stared at the phone, conflicted. Make the call, she said calmly. Even if you told Jay and Ruyan right now that you're not the HR director, they wouldn't believe you, would they? I looked at her angrily. Actually, you never wanted to help me regain confidence in front of my friends. You just wanted to put me in an impossible position, right? Her lips parted, and her eyes showed a flash of disappointment. She said dismissively, think whatever you want. She got up and went back to her desk. Even if I told Jay and Ruyan I wasn't HR director, they wouldn't believe me. So why hesitate? I picked up the phone and dialed Xiaoru's extension. Notify Jay that he's been hired. He can report on Monday. Okay, Xiaoru said. Who's the second? My hand trembled holding the phone. Across the room, Sophia's eyes never left me. Xiaoru asked again. Director Chen, who's the other one? The name Ruyan Lu came to my lips several times, but I couldn't say it. Xiaoru prompted. Director Chen, I'm listening. Bai Pei. Saying those 3 words felt like a huge weight lifted. I was covered in sweat. I understand. I'll call Jay and Bai Pei. I hung up first. I leaned back on the sofa, staring at the ceiling. I heard Sophia's footsteps approach. Then she sat down across from me. Ethan, thank you. This was actually a test for you. I laughed dryly. A test of what? Don't give me unrealistic excuses. I'm not a 3-year-old. You did this to get back at me for teasing you. If I could go back a few days, I wouldn't have lied about eating your lunch. I never actually did that. Sophia shrugged. It doesn't matter. There are no what-ifs. Actually, I'm glad you told that lie. Jay called. I answered, and he asked, Ethan, can you tell me why? Sophia was sitting across from me. I couldn't explain much. I'll call you later. Okay, I'll wait. That call made my heart heavier. Sophia said, first I apologize. Then I'll explain why I did this. Whether you forgive me or not, I'm grateful for what you did for me today. I looked at her. Her face showed a little guilt and some helplessness. I gave you such a difficult problem, but when it mattered, you still thought of me. My company has been having problems lately, and I'm restructuring departments. I want trustworthy friends around me to build my own team. Yesterday, when I asked you to help with the interviews, I just wanted you to save face in front of your friends. Even if you had kept both Jay and Ruyan, it wouldn't have mattered to the company. Just one more intern. I could have fired her after a month. She paused and glanced at my expression before continuing. When you were interviewing, I watched the whole thing. I was surprised you didn't announce the decision on the spot. When you came back to my office and said Ruyan wasn't suitable, I agreed, for reasons we won't go into. That gave me an idea. I had to let you complete this hiring. I wanted to see your final choice. You didn't disappoint me. You made the right decision, even though it was very hard. Maybe it will cost you a friendship. I want to know why you stuck with it. Was it for me? I smiled dismissively. Don't flatter yourself. I have my principles. I just didn't want to betray my conscience. Good. She was happy. That's exactly what I need. Let's talk. Talk about what? I took out a cigarette. She frowned involuntarily. I said loudly, Don't frown. I'm not your employee. I can smoke if I want. Even if I were your employee, don't restrict my freedom. It's fine, she said calmly. You smoked in my office yesterday. It seems to help you think. The company is overhauling all departments. Which department are you interested in? What have you done before? Delivery driving and stealing food, right? She glared at me. I'm serious. Stop joking. Besides delivering food, I've worked as a waiter in KTV, carried bricks on construction sites. I lost confidence as I spoke. All the lowest jobs. If you really want to give me a job then, tell me, she encouraged. What do you want? I'll give you a salary you'll be happy with. No less than delivery. Don't underestimate me. I make 6,000 or 7,000 a month delivering food. I'll give you 8,000. Then, I'll be a security guard. Her expression was indescribable. She stared for a long time. Are you serious? Of course, I pressed. Do security guards get free room and board? Is there a perfect attendance bonus? How are shifts arranged? How many hours on, how many off? On my days off I can read more books. Security guard is fine. Come to work on Monday. I'll have Xiaoru arrange it. Company provides room and board, but it's a shared dormitory, just a bed. I'm not sure about the shift schedule. That's handled by the department below. She glanced at her watch. Let's have lunch together. First tell me, am I treating you or are you treating me? That earned me another glare. After lunch, Xiaoru brought me a security uniform. Sophia told me to wear it on Monday and find Xiaoru, who would arrange my position. I asked, do security guards really get 8,000? She said yes calmly. Back home I put on the uniform and looked in the mirror. I felt very sharp. While I was admiring myself, Jay called again. I explained Sophia's background, and he understood. Monday morning at 8, I wore the uniform and found Xiaoru. She looked me over and complimented me. I told her that if I were in charge of uniforms, I'd make all security wear military combat gear. That would be cool. She laughed and said I could change the department's uniforms after I took over. She took me to the security office on the second floor and knocked on the deputy director's door. The man inside didn't even look up, and rudely ordered us to knock again. Xiaoru said calmly, Director Chow, I hope I'm not interrupting your gaming. He quickly put away his phone and stood up nervously. Xiaoru introduced us. She told him to cooperate fully with me, the new director. Then she showed me to another office, spacious and clean. I never dreamed that a few days ago, I was a delivery driver, and now I had my own office. Xiaoru handed me the keys. The security department is yours. If you have any problems, contact me directly. I'll have Director Chow send you some files. Good luck. I won't let you or Sophia down. I hadn't even sat down when there was a knock. A security guard at the door said arrogantly, Director, a guest is causing trouble. Please come handle it. Shouldn't the lobby manager handle guest disputes? This is the Katy International Hotel. Guest disturbances are our responsibility. The guard said impatiently. They've blocked the parking lot entrance with their car. Director Cao is waiting there and told me to ask for your solution. When I got there, I saw a BMW blocking the exit. The owner was cursing, saying his car had been scratched. The key point, there was no surveillance footage, and the camera covering his parking spot happened to be broken. Director Cao pointed at me. This is our new director. Don't worry. He'll give you a proper explanation. The owner was furious. Are you responsible? Give me an answer. How will you compensate? I had been on the job less than an hour and already faced a challenge. I was at a loss. Then a beautiful woman appeared. She said she had caused the scratch. She had mistaken the BMW for her own car. The crisis was resolved just like that. Director Cao could only stare. But soon after I returned to my office, the hotel's general manager Li Mingquan, Sophia's half-brother, came with Director Cao and another supervisor. He glanced at me and said simply, fire him. Appoint Cao Yue as security director. I had just started. Fortunately, Xiaoru and Sophia also walked in. Xiaoru smiled. The general manager personally appointed him. Are you sure you want to fire him? The man in the suit looked surprised. Sophia, you appointed him? Sophia said calmly. Recently there have been many security complaints. Firing the previous director didn't solve anything. So I personally arranged for someone to take charge. Any problem, brother? Li Mingquan immediately chuckled. Of course not. But changing a department head requires board approval. Sophia stood her ground. Arranging an intern doesn't need board approval. We can have a meeting when it's time for a formal appointment. I think an uncooperative deputy director can be a liability. Should we fire him too? What do you think, brother? Cao Yue looked alarmed and turned to Li Mingquan. Xiaoru silently encouraged me not to speak. Li Mingquan said, let's not fire him yet. The new director is unfamiliar with the work and needs Cao's help. Let Cao assist him. Sophia said, fine, we'll give Cao Yue another chance. She left with Xiaoru. When Li Mingquan left, he gave me a cold, deep stare. Later I learned he was Sophia's half-brother. When their father died, he left the company to Sophia, his illegitimate daughter. Li Mingquan pretended to assist her, but was actually using her personnel changes to stir discontent among shareholders, building his own popularity. Sophia's position was precarious. That night, exhausted, I fell asleep on the sofa. Ivy Lane woke me up. Since the stray dog incident, we had become much closer. She even shared her dinner with me. After dinner, my big bro Oliver called. He wanted me to come to a bar for drinks. I needed to relax, so I invited Ivy along. She agreed. Oliver led me to a booth. Inside were 3 men and 1 woman, all around 30. The woman had a good figure. He introduced them as all older brothers, and pointed to the woman, Sister Hua. I raised my glass. Respect to the 3 brothers, Sister Hua, and my big bro. Your big bro? Yin Yihua. Sister Hua looked confused. Who's your big bro? Oliver. He told me to call you all brothers. I can't let you take advantage. I'll have to drink a few more rounds with you. Everyone laughed. Yin Yihua said to Oliver, "You're terrible. Your nephew is more interesting than you. Little brother, I'll drink with you." I learned they were all fitness coaches. Oliver taught sparring there. Everyone drank casually, no pressure. I liked the atmosphere. Then Jason Shaw suddenly appeared. He grabbed a bottle of beer and downed it. Panting, he said, "Oliver, I did 300 push-ups." I was stunned. Jason grabbed another bottle and said to me, "Friend, I apologize. No fight, no acquaintance. I'll finish this bottle. You do what you want." He drank. I looked at Oliver. He smiled slightly. He's my member, learning sparring. Jason finished a second bottle. I've never respected anyone until Oliver. It's all in the past. Don't hold a grudge. He drank a third. I moved closer to Ivy and raised my glass to him. He finished it. Later I asked which department he worked in at Katie. He shook his head. "I don't like working at Katie. My sister won't let me either." "Why not? Isn't Katie your family's company? Your sister is chairman and general manager." He sighed. "I don't mind if you look down on me. I've never accomplished anything. Dropped out of high school, ran with the wrong crowd. I even cursed at my mother. Then she died. Only then did she tell us that our father was Li Daisheng. He treated us well, gave us a lot of money. Earlier this year, he died unexpectedly. He split Katie's shares 3 ways, me, my sister, and our half-brother Li Mingquan. But he made my sister chairman. I went to help, but within a week, I found that everyone at the company was hostile. I'm too lazy and undisciplined. I became an excuse for others to attack my sister. So I quit. We drank more. Jason asked if I felt useless. I clinked glasses with him. "Don't think that way. You can't stand the scheming. That means you're simple-hearted. I'd rather be friends with someone like you. I don't have many virtues, but I value loyalty." Jason pounded his chest. "We became friends through a fight. If you ever need anything, just say the word. If I hesitate, I'm your grandson." After drinking, I told him, "Your sister arranged for me to work in Katie's security department." "Security? That's too cheap. I'll talk to her tonight about changing your department. I chose it myself. I don't know how to do anything else. Starting from the bottom, your sister has been good to me, making me director. I'm satisfied." Jason laughed dryly. "Tell the truth. Did someone give you a hard time on your first day? If not, I'll drink 3 more bottles." Everyone looked at me. I smiled bitterly and told them about Deputy Director Cal. Then I added, "Don't go hitting people, big bro. Violence isn't the solution. I want to do this job well as a challenge. If I can't handle something this small, I'll despise myself." Yin Yihua nodded. "Ethan, Sister Hua supports you. To survive in any environment, you have to adapt to the unwritten rules. Violence doesn't solve everything." Oliver, who had been silent, suddenly spoke. "Undermine his authority. Dissolve his team. Solve the root problem." I repeated it in my head, thinking about how to do it. Easier said than done. The man to Oliver's right, Yu Zhuang, said, "Not everyone in security will follow him. Some are only there because of his power. If you show strength and attitude, people will switch sides. As a leader, personal charisma is more important than power. Give them a reason to rebel." I thought it over carefully. The drinks were not wasted. That night I couldn't sleep. I planned my next steps. At 2 in the morning, I finally fell asleep. In the morning I texted Sophia. "I want to do a good job with Katie's security department. I hope you'll support what I do next." I didn't get a response until I arrived at the company, which made me a little nervous. After a brief meeting, as expected, not everyone was aligned with Director Cao. The young guard who had been on duty when the camera failed, I fired him directly. Cao Youwei had a big argument with me over it. Soon, HR came and said Li Mingquan disagreed with firing the guard. Fortunately, Xiaoru appeared and said to HR, "Miss Lin asked me to tell you that this is the security department's decision." HR looked troubled. I'll report to the director. He left. Xiaoru smiled. You noticed, right? This isn't just about firing a guard. It's a power struggle behind the scenes. I took a deep breath. I understand. Removing a member of the team on your first day might be too fast and cause backlash. But I support you. Her phone rang. She answered, spoke briefly, then hung up. It's blown up. The board is using this to attack Sophia. She needs you. Get ready. What happened? Did I cause trouble for her? She explained that Li Mingquan was unhappy with me firing an old employee on my first day. He was using it to call a board meeting to impeach Sophia. The meeting was at 2 in the afternoon. This was my fault, so I had to attend. Whether I could turn things around depended on me. I was nervous. The shareholders only cared about profits. If I could convince most of them to support me, Sophia would be safe. If I failed, Li Mingquan would push for a new general manager or even chairman. Sophia couldn't lose control of Katie. I understand. I took a deep breath. I'll prepare, let me know when. After Xiaoru left, I went to a military surplus store and bought combat gear, a lightweight, breathable style, for over 1,000 yuan. It made me look like a special forces soldier. In the 29th floor conference room, as soon as I entered, a shareholder asked Sophia, "Isn't he too young to be reliable?" An older shareholder said, "Lateness requires an excuse. Since this meeting is about him, let's hear what he did." Li Mingquan sighed. Nothing much. He fired a long-term employee on his second day. Sophia's judgment is lacking. She's making big cuts. I'm worried about Katie's future, so I wanted to discuss the company's direction and re-elect the general manager. He was clearly impeaching her. Another shareholder said, "I invest to make money. I support whoever is capable." Well said, another agreed. Katie isn't exclusively the Li family's. We respect the old chairman's wishes, but we support the most capable. Whether it's Sophia, Li Mingquan, or anyone else, if they can convince us, I'll support them. Thank you all, Sophia said. I changed the security director because of recent complaints. Director Chen, please share your thoughts. I walked to the empty seat beside Sophia and looked around. I bought this outfit at my own expense today. I believe a security guard's image represents the hotel's image. The current uniform of shirts and dress pants is sloppy and doesn't match Katie's standards. I plan to have all security wear combat gear and undergo daily training. I will lead by example, exercise with them, and improve our image. As for firing the old employee, a person who can't even monitor a camera doesn't belong in security. I want to build an elite team and eliminate those who just coast. I hope you will support me. I have confidence in leading this department. Thank you. An elderly shareholder was the first to applaud. Jason followed. Others joined in. Then I excused myself and left the conference room. Back in my office, I found 6 or 7 self-recommendation letters from guards wanting to be team leaders. Sophia came in, looking tired. How did the board go? She forced a bitter smile. Fine. They accepted your ideas and support your work. But you only have a 1-month trial period. Whether you succeed is up to you. I said softly, thank you for the opportunity. If I ever deliver food to you again, I promise not to steal any. That earned me a glare. She stayed for about 15 minutes, chatted a bit, then left. I organized the letters and locked the door. My heart was full of passion, but I knew the road ahead was hard. When I got home, Oliver called and asked how it went. I told him. He suggested I immediately marginalize Cao Yuwei and turn the 3 team leaders into my own people. Give them enough authority to even counter Cao. He explained that I was new and unfamiliar, so empowering the leaders would make them value their jobs more. That made sense. That night, I made a management plan. The next day at work, I chose 3 team leaders. One was He Dazhuang, a former soldier. I was satisfied with him. In the afternoon, I held a department meeting. In front of Cao Yuwei, I announced the 3 appointments. I stressed that team members must unconditionally obey their leaders, and leaders would be doubly punished for mistakes. Cao immediately challenged me. Director Chen, do you have any respect for me? Why didn't you discuss such a big decision with me? All the guards' eyes were on me. I smiled faintly. You're the deputy director. You should discuss things with me first. If anyone has difficulties at work or in life, they can report to their team leader or to Director Cao. If neither can solve it, the team leader can report to me. This meeting is adjourned. Cao's face turned green with anger. Later, I went to Xiaoru to request funds for the new uniforms. She said it had to go through finance. After it was approved, I went to the military surplus store to negotiate the purchase. The next day, the store owner personally delivered the goods. After counting, I invited him to my office for a seat. He didn't refuse. After following me in, he locked the door. 2 men alone in a locked room. Was he gay? I was starting to wonder when he pulled an envelope from his pocket and placed it on the desk. "Director Chen, please accept this." "What is it?" He smiled. "It's just how business is done. My shop is small, profit is thin. I hope you'll take care of me. If you could increase the invoice price next time, I could give you a bigger kickback." I opened the envelope. Inside was a stack of 100 won bills. I was tempted. My father needed money for dialysis every week. I used to work from dawn to dusk delivering food. I never imagined making money could be so easy. But I struggled inside. A voice told me to take it. It was an industry unwritten rule. Another voice warned me that Sophia would be disappointed. After much hesitation, I decided to turn the money over to finance. Gaining trust was worth more than 10,000 yuan. Just as I was about to leave, He Dazhuang called to say the first team had assembled in the back lot and was ready to start training. I said I wouldn't participate, so I casually put the envelope in a drawer, changed into my combat gear, and went out. After training for half an hour, I dragged my tired body back to the office. I lit a cheap red pagoda cigarette. After one puff, something felt wrong. I opened the drawer. The envelope was gone. I checked both drawers. Nothing. The office lock wasn't broken, and there were bars on the windows. The only possibility was that someone else had a key. My blood ran cold. I immediately called He Dazhuang and asked him to check the security cameras for anyone who had entered my office in the last half hour. But the camera in the hallway had been disabled months ago by guards using bubblegum. 6 or 7 people had entered the conference room in that time. Any of them could have done it. Then Sophia sent me a WeChat video. When I opened it, my scalp tingled. The video showed the entire exchange with the military surplus store owner, including the envelope and the conversation, clearly visible. My office had been bugged with a camera, and I had no idea. Worse, Xiaoru called, furious. "You've gone too far. 3 days on the job, and you're taking kickbacks? Even if you were going to, could you be more careful? Did a donkey kick your head?" The video has already been shared in all the company's group chats. "What will Sophia think of you? Do you have anything to say?" I was frozen. "Xiaoru, listen to me. I was planning to turn the money over to finance." She laughed coldly. "Do you think I'd believe that excuse?" I realized how ridiculous I sounded. If I were in her place, I wouldn't believe that someone who put money in a drawer intended to hand it over. She hung up angrily. Seeing the video in the workgroup chats, I understood everything. My office felt empty. I lit another cigarette and didn't bother explaining. Explaining was useless. Then the HR director came in and directly told me I was fired. I had to leave, and the company reserved the right to pursue other liabilities. Fired on my 3rd day. Absurd. I sat on the steps by the river, guzzling beer. Sophia appeared behind me. She sat down quietly. "You're not here to ask for that 10,000, are you?" "No," she explained. "Work has been stressful lately. My mother and I used to live by this river. We often walked here. I came to reminisce. I let you down, didn't I?" I stared into the distance. What if I said I was planning to turn the money over to finance? Would you believe me? I laughed bitterly. Never mind. Who would believe that? Did you get the HR notice? Yes. I drank. I also know Cao Youwei took the video and stole the money from the drawer. She answered calmly. I know. He turned it over to legal. I laughed. Are they going to sue me for bribery? Ethan, she comforted. I understand. Try to look on the bright side. How dramatic, I said bitterly. I was parachuted in as head of security, full of ambition to do well, and on the 3rd day I'm fired for bribery. I know Cao Youwei set me up. I was in his way. I thought I could make a difference, but I just destroyed myself. Maybe, she said softly. You're too young. I wanted to give you a good job. I didn't expect this. I stood up. It's not your fault. I was too naive. Thank you for clearing things up tonight. I walked away with my half-empty beer bottle, staggering. I wanted to escape this city, but I didn't know where to go. I walked and walked. A little girl about 6 or 7 came up to me. She was cute. I had nothing better to do, so I bought some flowers from her and started chatting. Her grandmother was with her. The old woman told me that her daughter and son-in-law had come to Kunming to work years ago, and then disappeared. She had come with the little girl, Nunu, to look for them. That was 3 years ago. They had slept on the streets until a flower field owner took them in. They lived in a mud hut, watching the fields, selling leftover flowers from the owner's stock. The little girl was very sweet and sensible. We talked late into the night. I felt so sorry for them. Compared to them, what reason did I have to be so pessimistic? I took their contact information, intending to help them as much as I could. When I got home, Ivy was sitting on the sofa, dejected. She had quit her job. She couldn't stand the workplace harassment. I showed her a photo of Niu and told her their story. She was moved and wanted to help them too. Then Jason called. "Ethan, where are you? Come to Jingyue Fitness Club. You and your big bro are both here." "What's up? Come, we'll talk." He added jokingly, "I mean my second brother Oliver." The line ended in laughter. I changed and went to the club. In the lounge, Oliver was smoking, lost in thought. The same group from the bar was there. Oliver put out his cigarette and scolded me. "Why didn't you tell me when you were getting screwed? How many times have I told you to call me if something happens?" I didn't dare argue. My face burned. Yin Yihua tried to mediate. "Oliver, stop. Ethan didn't want to trouble you." Oliver stopped scolding. He called someone. "Come up." Soon a man entered. Jason cursed. "You bastard, you came." The man smiled apologies. I looked up. It was the military surplus store owner. When he saw me, he said quickly, "Director Chen, I'm really sorry. That 10,000 caused you so much trouble." "Stop apologizing," Jason said. "Solving the problem is what matters." Oliver said coldly, "Let's go over the plan." The owner took out a USB drive and placed it on the table. WeChat chat records, video. Everything is ready. Jason brought a laptop. Curious, I opened the USB drive. I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I saw. The first file was a 2-minute video. The store owner faced the camera and said, "A day ago, someone messaged me on WeChat. He told me to give 10,000 in kickback to Director Chen. If I didn't, he'd return all the goods." I thought it was Director Chen using a fake account to demand a kickback, so I did it. Later, when he was fired, I realized someone had set him up. That WeChat account has already blocked me. There were also screenshots of the chat. The last one showed, "You have been blocked by the other user." Jason explained, "The WeChat profile picture is Sao Yue's. This video and the screenshots are meant to frame him. You can go back to Katie anytime, Ethan. Sao Yue won't be able to clear his name this time." I looked at Oliver. I knew this was his doing, but I had lost interest. "Forget it. Don't frame Chao Yue. I don't want to go back to Katie anyway. That scheming environment isn't for me. I can find a job anywhere." "You're scared?" Oliver demanded. "This society doesn't pity the weak. Your last name is Chen. If you fall, you get back up where you fell. We have different philosophies. Don't impose yours on me. I just want to live an ordinary life. I don't need big achievements." Oliver got so angry he grabbed an ashtray and was about to hit me. Yin Yuhua and the other coaches grabbed him. "Ethan, stop talking. Your big bro is angry." She pulled me away. "Let's get lunch. You haven't eaten, have you? Go before he breaks loose." Jason urged us to leave. Yin Yuhua took me to a small restaurant. Lunch was very quiet. As we parted, she asked if I really wasn't going back to Katie. I said, "Not for now." Later Jason called. "We have all the evidence. What are you afraid of?" "It's not fear. I just don't like that environment." "You're willing to be misunderstood? You want my sister to keep doubting you?" "The fact is you took 10,000. You say you were going to give it to finance. Who would believe that?" My sister didn't argue, but she thinks 10,000 is nothing. We have no idea what she's really thinking. I was stunned. I had never thought about it that way. My sister has it hard. Katie has many shareholders. She and my brother are fighting openly and secretly. She needs trustworthy people around her. Think about it. I'm waiting for your call. Chao Yue has to go. He's a threat to my sister. I said I needed a few days to figure out what kind of life I wanted. That evening, Ivy and I went to see Niu and her grandmother. We agreed that selling flowers was only temporary. The real solution was finding her parents. Ivy crouched down and gave Niu flyers. "Tonight, we'll give away flowers. Tell people they're free. Just ask them to look at the flyer, take a photo, and post it on their social media. And we'll take your photo. Got it?" Niu nodded seriously. After a night of effort, the results were clear. Kind passersby shared the posts. They took videos of Niu and her grandmother and put them online. Many offered donations. Since the grandmother didn't have a smartphone, Ivy collected 3,000 yuan on her behalf. She gave it to her in cash. We dreamed of Niu reuniting with her parents, but what came was a nightmare. A local lifestyle media account published an article claiming that Ivy had colluded with Niu and her grandmother to scam money. Since Ivy had collected the donations and her face was visible in the video, I was on the edge, blurred. She became a target. She was doxxed, her identity and job exposed. All I could do was comfort her. She sobbed in my arms. "Ethan, What is wrong with this society? Why is it so hard to do something good without expecting anything in return? I held her. It'll be okay. Let's go see Nunu and her grandmother. The truth will come out. But as soon as we stepped outside, we were attacked. People shouted insults. Some got physical. To protect Ivy, I was beaten until my mouth bled. Ivy broke down crying. She said she was tired. Let's go home. We didn't go see Nunu. We turned off our phones, as if that would make us disappear from the world. We tried everything. Posting clarifications, calling newspapers, buying ads. We sat on the sofa. Hopeless. Then a few self-media journalists with cameras came to visit. After interviewing us, Ivy and I hoped they would help clear our names. Instead, an even bigger nightmare arrived. Around 3 in the afternoon, another public account published an article that was even more unacceptable. It included a video. The video showed the woman interviewing us, but the entire thing was dubbed. The faces were slightly blurred, so viewers could only tell that the blurry figures were us moving our mouths. The dubbed content claimed that Ivy and I admitted to using Nunu's story to scam money. We admitted to using our own WeChat QR code to collect donations because we knew the grandmother didn't have a smartphone. At the end of the video, we apologized to society and begged for forgiveness. Even worse, the second part of the article had another video, an interview with the grandmother and Nunu. They had no idea what was happening. They looked into the camera and kept saying thank you to Ivy and me. I could see through the screen that they were genuinely happy and sincere. The contrast between the two videos enraged viewers. Shares skyrocketed. The article accused Ivy and me of using the grandmother and Nunu for our own profit. The account had over 300,000 followers. Within an hour, the post had over 100,000 views and shares. The comments were vile. Ivy's tears wouldn't stop. She whispered, "Ethan, can you tell me what's wrong with this world? Why are they treating us like this? What did we do wrong?" I held her tightly. "Wait, it will get better," she said softly. "I'm tired. I want to sleep for a while." I watched her walk into the bedroom. Her back was so lonely. Yin Yihua called to comfort me. She said Oliver was already investigating. The public account was run by someone in Kunming, just hyping the story for attention. But no one expected Ivy to end her pain in the simplest, most decisive way. When the police broke down the door, I was in Ivy's room. They found a farewell letter she had written. I wanted to see it, but the police put it in a plastic bag. I was taken away as a suspect. In the interrogation room, I told them everything, from when I met Ivy to why she killed herself. 2 hours passed. The police officers gave me her pack of cigarettes and a bottle of water. When I got to the part about why she jumped, I choked up and couldn't continue. The female officer taking notes was also in tears. I wasn't trying to be dramatic. It was the truth. The officer who had been silent handed me the statement. "Look it over. If it's correct, sign at the bottom." I didn't read it carefully. I signed my name. Then I looked at her. It was the local Life public account that drove Ivy to death. The people running it are responsible. Please clear her name." The officer nodded. She took out her phone and showed me a photo. The farewell letter. She couldn't give me the original yet. I saw the letter. Only then did I learn that Ivy's background had been just as tragic. Her father had an affair and abandoned the family. Her mother couldn't bear it and died. At 16 she was homeless. I couldn't stop crying. I put my head on the table and sobbed. The officer Camille picked up my fallen phone and comforted me. "Don't worry. I will find the people behind those 2 accounts and get justice for her." "Justice?" I shouted. "What good is justice now? She's dead. Where were you all before?" I realized I was out of line and stopped. I looked at Camille. "I want to see Ivy. Trust me, you don't want to see her like that. Let her remain beautiful in your memory. How about we do something else instead?" She said that a self-media journalist had come to our place to interview us. She could help find the account operator. With her skills, she quickly identified the official registration info of the public account and locked onto the operator, Zhu Dalong, the same man who had maliciously interviewed us. Camille continued. Through public corporate registration records, she confirmed that the account was operated by a local advertising company. The legal representative was Tian Afen, the same woman who had come that day and led the malicious questioning. Seeing Tian Afen's photo on the screen, I remembered her sharp questions and hypocritical face. Rage surged in my chest. I clenched my fists. As the officer handling Ivy's case, Camille used proper procedures to verify their BMW X5 registration and current parking location. She gave the information to Oliver, then took me to the target location to cooperate. I had never imagined Camille would care so much. She said Ivy was a pure, kind girl who didn't deserve this. She couldn't let those who maliciously slandered her go free. She had to find the truth. On the way, she turned to me. When we see them, stay calm. Don't do anything impulsive. We're here to verify and collect evidence. Everything by the book. That caught me off guard. Half an hour later, we found TNA Fen's BMW X5 at a bar. As we looked for parking, Zhu Dalong and TNA Fen appeared. I said to Camille, "Stop the car. They're right there." She was calmer. "Why stop here? Drive right up and block their car. Are you afraid they'll run?" Camille drove straight toward the BMW. Suddenly, two blinding headlights appeared in front of us. Then we heard an engine roar and a screech of brakes. A scream followed. The car with the high beams flashed past us. The whole thing lasted 10 seconds. When the car was gone and our vision returned, TNA Fen and Zhu Dalong had vanished. We were stunned. Camille quickly reversed to chase the car, but after turning around, she couldn't even see its taillights. We got out. Two people were lying on the ground. Zhu Dalong was on the roadside, still conscious. TNA Fen was completely unconscious. A crowd had witnessed the hit and run. The driver had fled. I never expected Oliver to be connected to Ivy's death. But Camille asked to see my phone, suspecting I had arranged it. I refused. "You have no right to search my personal belongings. A phone is private." As we argued, a familiar voice interrupted. Camille and I turned. Sophia Lin appeared with several people. She said politely, "I'm Sophia Lin, General Manager of Katy International Hotel. Ethan works for Katy. I'd like to take him back to the company." Camille was taken aback. She stubbornly raised her chin. "He's a suspect. He has to come with me to the police station." Sophia smiled faintly, her aura strong. "A suspect can be freely taken out of the police station? And who are you? What's your identity?" Camille realized Sophia was provoking her. She changed her tone. "I'm following orders to escort a suspect. You can check my identity. I'm a police officer." "What right does a police officer have to detain a citizen without cause?" "Citizens have personal freedom. I suggest you speak with our company's legal counsel." "Do you think that's necessary?" Camille was speechless with anger. It was the first time I had seen Sophia speak to someone like that. Jason had said his sister rarely showed emotion, and was deep. Now I saw it. Camille seemed young and inexperienced. She had a strong sense of justice, but no cunning. Sophia looked at me. "Let our lawyer handle communication with them." As I got into her car, Camille yelled behind me, "Ethan, I know I can't stop you, but promise me, if I need you in the next few days, you'll come to the station for questioning. It won't take much time." I nodded. "Call me. I'll come." In the car, Jason was driving. Zaya Ru was in the passenger seat. Sophia and I sat in the back. Jason turned his head excitedly. "Ethan, can you believe it?" "Believe what?" "Big bro's work. I never expected him to be so clean." I was thinking how to thank him. "Drive," Sophia said to Jason. "Take us to the hotel. I need to talk to Ethan alone." In the hotel suite, just the two of us, Sophia placed a glass of water in front of me. "Drink something. I've heard about what happened. I'll use all my connections to clear your name." "It doesn't matter," I said, looking out the window. "Even if everyone realizes they were wrong, it won't bring Ivy back." I smiled bitterly. "I've seen enough. Who cares about others' opinions?" Sophia said, "Don't be like this. I know you're in pain. I would be too. Pull yourself together. I don't know how to comfort you, but I'll do my best to help." "Why are you helping me?" I asked. "We're just acquaintances." She shook her head. "I don't know. Maybe a feeling of familiarity." She stood up. "Stay here tonight. I have an early meeting tomorrow. Get some sleep." After she left, I took out my phone and deleted a few messages from Oliver. I lay in bed, but couldn't sleep. Ivy's door was sealed with tape. I found some rice in the kitchen, put it in a pot, and placed 3 cigarettes in front of her door. Late at night, Camille called. Zhu Dalong had reported that he suspected I was behind the hit and run. I needed to return for questioning. I laughed coldly. "When it happened, I was in your car. You were driving. What's there to investigate?" She formally informed me that there were multiple suspicious points linking me to the case. I had to cooperate. I went to the station. 2 officers questioned me, with Camille present. The session was recorded. They asked about Zhu Dalong's accusation that I had threatened him. I denied it, speaking calmly. I had never threatened him. He and Tian Ifan had maliciously edited and spread false information, leading Ivy to jump to her death. Their actions had crossed the legal line. I told the whole story. I added that what happened to them was the consequence of their own evil deeds. Camille provided an objective statement and alibi. I had been with her the entire time. The dashcam and traffic cameras confirmed that I couldn't have committed the crime. She had been conducting an investigation in that area, and I was accompanying her. We had encountered Zhu Dalong by chance. There was no premeditation. The officers informed me that I still had motive, and they were not ruling out that I had directed someone else. I would have to cooperate throughout the investigation. I agreed. After the questioning, I treated Camille to a late-night snack. We talked a lot. I truly felt she was a principled and warm officer. Even though she should have been suspicious of me, she remained objective and used evidence to clear my core suspicion. She arranged for me to stay in a police hostel. The next morning she banged on my door. Last night we posted Ivy's farewell letter online. Today the Times reported it. Provincial and city TV stations are covering it. Get ready to face the press. Nunu and her grandmother are here. They were both very sad. The grandmother held her ID card and knelt before the media telling the whole story of how Ivy and I had helped them. The truth finally came out. Since Ivy's father and relatives couldn't be reached, the police held a funeral for her. Her ashes were at the crematorium. I couldn't afford a grave. In the end, Nunu's grandmother buried her in the family plot and adopted her as a granddaughter. 3 days later, Camille came to see me. She told me Tianai Fen had died from her injuries. She asked again if I was involved. I denied it. She said formally, "We have traced the entire route of the vehicle involved through technical means. We will soon identify the driver." She closed the case file and left. I struggled with whether to tell Oliver to run, but I was afraid Camille was bluffing. After much thought, I called him. I lowered my voice. "Go hide for a few days." He was silent. I warned, "I'm already suspected. The police might track you." He was scared too. A death was serious. "How did they suspect you?" he asked. "Camille found out I called you to report Tianai Fen's location. She thought I was leaking information. She wanted to search my phone that night, but Sophia showed up. Today she said Tianai Fen is dead and told me to tell the driver to hide. The traffic cameras already caught the vehicle." He looked at me. "She just told you to pass that message?" He finished his cigarette and stood up. "Don't worry. Worst case, it's hit and run, not murder. They might not find me." I saw through him. "You know they'll find you eventually, don't you?" He glanced at me. "Stop worrying. Find a stable job and make more money for your father's treatment. I sent 5,000 home the day before yesterday. If I really go in, the burden will fall on you." Watching his deliberately casual back, I felt like crying. Life has never been gentle, but we have to grit our teeth and carry on. "Hold it in," he ordered quietly. "Be a man. Crying is pointless. That Santana had fake plates, and I wore a mask. Whether they find me depends on whether that young female cop Camille snitches. She's the only one who can connect you to my tip." He analyzed calmly. "What do you think? How likely is she to pursue it?" "I don't know." I lit a cigarette. "I haven't known her long, but I can tell she has a sense of justice and speaks her mind." He sat in silence for a moment, then stood up. "Go about your business. Call your parents more often." He said it lightly, but it sounded like he was saying goodbye. That day, Camille called. They had found Nunu's father, Deng Qiming. Bad news. He refused to acknowledge Nunu as his daughter. Her mother was still missing. They had notified him to come to the station. I went. A flashy red BMW X6 was parked outside. Camille said it belonged to Deng Qiming, a man who drives a BMW X6. How could he let his daughter suffer like that? "It's complicated. The political commissar is talking to him." She said that her colleagues were picking up Nunu and her grandmother. We waited in the chief's office. When they arrived, Deng Qiming was extremely cold. The grandmother looked at him. "Where is Quilan? Where is she?" He sighed. "Mom, Quilan and I divorced 3 years ago. Didn't you know?" The old woman was stunned. "So were we." He continued grimly. "We divorced by agreement. Quilan took custody of Nunu." He pulled out a divorce certificate. "We haven't been in touch since. I thought she was doing well with you and Nunu. I didn't expect." He wiped his eyes with a tissue. "How could this be?" The grandmother looked blank, mumbling, "Where did Quilan go? How can she have no news for 3 years?" The grandmother left too. At noon, Sophia invited me to lunch. She said she wanted to talk about her brother. She poured wine, then asked casually, "Is Oliver Wells your relative? You call him Big Bro?" "He's my grandfather's adopted son." "Then you know what he usually does?" I realized she might know something. The night of the hit and run, she and Jason had appeared right then. Was that really a coincidence? I sighed. "Just say what you want to say." "Nothing much. I just wanted to learn about Oliver. My parents died early, and and I haven't taken good care of Jason. He's been close with Oliver lately. I want to know what kind of person Oliver is. I hesitated. Don't worry. Oliver has good character. He just has a strong sense of loyalty and a rough edge. She clinked glasses with me and asked offhandedly, has Oliver been to prison? For what? Not for hit and run, I hope. That struck my most sensitive nerve. I stared at her. She stared back without flinching, as if trying to force me to confess. I lit a cigarette. Yes, he's been to prison, more than once. He was a regular at the police station as a kid. A few years ago, he got 6 months for fighting. I never heard about a hit and run. She changed the subject. Eat. The grilled fish here is good. Then she added, Jason is my only family. I don't want him to get into trouble. Could you tell Oliver not to involve Jason in his business? I understand. I looked down. I didn't want to see her face, beautiful as it was. It felt strange. Ethan, you haven't found a job yet. Do you want to come back to Katie? After Ivy's death, the landlord took back the apartment. I need to find a place first, then a job nearby. The meal was heavy. Afterward, I declined a ride. I called Oliver. I asked him how many people knew about the hit and run that night. Why were Jason and Sophia nearby? He didn't want to say at first, but I pressed him. He admitted that when I called, he was training with Jason. When he went out, Jason followed in his car. In the northern district, Jason lost him and was searching when he came across the accident. Sophia had come to pick Jason up for dinner, and also saw the scene. She must have guessed the truth long ago, but said nothing. I realized Sophia was also in the know. But unlike Camille, she was more concerned about Oliver corrupting Jason. I wasn't afraid she would report it. That afternoon, with my roommate Leo's help, I moved to a youth hostel in Guandu ancient town. It had a small courtyard. Behind the bar was a winding staircase. The landlord, old Zhao, also owned the bar downstairs, but business was slow. I was about to rest after a shower, when an unknown number called. It was the police, asking me to come in for questioning. Still about the hit and run. At the station, an officer brought out Zhu Dalong's report. You threatened him at the scene, didn't you? Yes, I admitted. He maliciously framed Ivy and me. Physical harm is one thing. He trampled our reputation and hurt our souls. I needed to say some harsh words to feel better. How long after the accident did you arrive at the scene? A minute or two. I don't recall. I heard shouts and went to see. Where were you before? We were looking for parking. Why were you in that area? After Ivy jumped, Camille didn't want me to see her body. She took me for barbecue to distract me. So you were with Camille when it happened? She was driving. You were in the car. Yes. The officers whispered to each other, then thanked me and asked if I had any travel plans. I said I couldn't leave Kunming. They said it was just a casual question. After leaving the station, I didn't go far. I had a feeling Camille would come. Half an hour later, she did. I hid in the shadows. Only then did I realize there were cameras everywhere. I panicked. Should I go out and meet her, or keep hiding? After a few seconds, I decided not to show myself. If I did, they would think we were colluding. The cameras would also show I hadn't left. I watched her walk into the station, praying she wouldn't say the wrong thing. My heart pounded. If our statements didn't match about why we were there, the consequences would be dire. I even thought about running, but I didn't know where. 40 minutes later she came out and got in her car. My phone rang. I see you. You're in the car, I said first. You haven't left? She asked. I figured they might call you too, so I waited. Your conscience is bothering you? What do I have to feel guilty about? Just curious. Enough. Wait for me at the next intersection. I'll pick you up. She hung up. I was nervous but didn't want to show it. Before getting in her car, I bought 2 cans of Coke, hoping to distract her. When she pulled up, I took a deep breath and got in. I know you prefer Coke, right? She rolled her eyes and took it. You had to psych yourself up just to get in my car. That's a sign of guilt. I was speechless. A detective's sensitivity is truly different. Good to know. Girls being too sensitive isn't good, I said, feigning calm. Don't change the subject. Why are you nervous? I'm not. But Camille was hard to fool. Seeing me deny it, she smirked. In your statement, they asked why you went to the Northern District. They asked you the same question, right? What did you say? You're not nervous at all, she retorted. I called someone with the last 4 digits, 4400 for 3 minutes. I checked. So what? That's my big bro's number. Something big happened. I called him. Problem? I raised my voice, trying to cover my panic. She gave me a dismissive look. If I wanted to verify, I'd have done it through official channels. They asked why I went to the Northern District. I said it was to eat. I volunteered to take you. They asked what you wanted to eat. I said I didn't remember, just that there was good food there. I breathed a silent sigh of relief. I said I was going for barbecue to lift my spirits. No cracks. Camille looked at me with a knowing smile. You just admitted it. Don't try to trap me. She laughed more calmly. Ethan, don't lie to me. I'm a cop. My job is to uphold the law and seek real justice. Zhu Dalong and Tianai Fen spread malicious lies and drove Ivy to death. They built their profit on others' pain. They crossed both legal and moral lines. They will pay. But continuing this will only hurt more innocent people. I looked at her, seeing her in a new light. Her words moved me deeply. I might need your help, she said, changing the subject. I've been investigating Deng Qiming and the missing Qilan. There are many suspicious points. Qilan's disappearance and their divorce are very strange. Tell me, I'll do whatever I can. Deng Qiming's current wife, Deng Jing, is Katie's finance director. Can you look into Deng Jing's work and marital status from the inside? If it's too much trouble, forget it. Okay, I'll get back to you. Since the hit-and-run case was still active, I wasn't looking for work. When old Joe had business, I helped out to earn a little. The next day, I invited Sophia to the bar to talk about Deng Jing. You know about Niu from the social media posts. Her biological father, Deng Qiming, is Deng Jing's current husband. What does that have to do with Niu? Sophia frowned. 3 years ago, Deng Qiming and his wife Qilan came to Kunming to work and got divorced. Then Qilan disappeared. Deng Qiming says she ran off with a rich man and only wants Niu. Sophia's frown deepened. You mean Qilan planned the divorce, used the excuse of buying a house, then ran away? I was startled. She had picked up on a deeper implication. Women really are sensitive. Something like that. Deng Qiming disappeared for 3 years, now drives a million-yuan BMW X6. His rise must be tied to Deng Jing. She's your finance director. Don't you find it suspicious? Too early to conclude he's embezzling, she said. Investigate and find out. I want to look into them, not just because of Deng Jing, but because Qilan has been missing for 3 years. What mother doesn't contact her daughter and mother for 3 years? She must have seen the posts about Niu. Sophia sipped her wine. I understand. How do you want me to help? Katie is chaotic right now. Li Mingquan and I are fighting openly and secretly. My father left me the company not just out of guilt, but because Li Mingquan has serious character flaws. Mistresses, gambling, the shareholders know. Recently, complaints have increased. Supply quality is poor. Li Mingquan handles procurement. If you want to investigate Deng Jing, I support you. Can you get me the financial records for the last few months? Every major expense goes through Deng Jing. Yes, I'll send them privately. Then give me 3 months' worth. I suspect Qilan was killed by Deng Qiming. Sophia nodded. Investigate. I support you. You did a good job with Katie's security department. Too bad you left out of anger. Jason told me. I smiled bitterly. A place full of scheming isn't for me. The workplace is like that. It depends on how you handle it. No team is ever completely peaceful. Contact between people creates friction. Emotions have to be released. We talked for a long time. Sophia had unique insights, especially in business management. She didn't rely solely on her father to win shareholder support. The next morning, Sophia sent an email with Katie's 3-month financial records. Total nearly 200 million won. Monthly profit about 30 million. Daily revenue over $1 million. She messaged separately. Don't share this widely. You know why. It would cause me trouble. Then I contacted Camille. I got Katie's 3-month financial records. Every transaction was approved by Deng Jing. Useful? Perfect. Send them now. I'll look right away. Wait, these records are only for you. If they leak, the person who provided them will be attacked. She's helping because she sympathizes with Niu. We can't betray her. Don't worry. I know what to do. Meet at noon to discuss. I hung up and forwarded the email to Camille. She had a sense of justice beyond professional ethics. She didn't always follow the rules, but never crossed moral lines. I trusted her. At lunch, Camille said, I found something interesting in Katie's records. They spend over 10 million a month on alcohol, cigarettes, and other consumables. She paused. Guess what? What? The supplier for all of Katie's alcohol and tobacco is the same company. The owner is Deng Qiming. I understood immediately why Deng Qiming would retaliate. That's not all. She opened her notebook. Deng Qiming has several companies under his name, all with complaints and reports. One of them was shut down 2 years ago, but Katie was still buying from it then. Tell Sophia this. She'll thank you. I don't know how to bring it up. Don't you want a chance to impress her? She rolled her eyes. I've given up looking for Qilan. I'm focusing on Deng Qiming. Once I have solid evidence, we'll see what she says. Poor Niu. What else can I do? Not now. I'll call you. She reminded me, tell Sophia what I found. It'll help her prepare. A goodwill gesture. I called Sophia and told her about Deng Jing's embezzlement. She was unusually calm, just asking if I could find more evidence. I was about to call Camille when Jason called, furious. Ethan, what are you doing? If you're free, come help. I'm gonna kill someone today. Who upset you? Come help me fight. I'll take responsibility. I'll send you the location. Take a taxi, I've got weapons ready. I tried to talk him out of it, but he wouldn't listen. I went. When I arrived, several guys Jason's age were already waiting. He handed me a steel pipe. Those bastards are in the bar. We're waiting for one more, then we go in and fight. This thing won't kill anyone. I weighed the pipe. It was light. What's this really about? Can't you make peace? No, it has to be done. I didn't argue further. 2 more came. The 6 of us walked into the bar. At 9 in the evening, the college bar was busy. We drew everyone's attention. In the corner, 4 men and 3 women stood up. Those are them. Go. Jason charged. We followed with our pipes. The fight was one-sided. Predictably, the police came. We were handcuffed and lined up in the interrogation room. Jason, who had sworn he'd take responsibility, was completely deflated. The officer said, 500 yuan fine each. Call your families to pick you up. Next time, it'll be detention. Officer, we know we're wrong. We'll pay the fine. Can you not notify our parents? Jason begged. How can you talk about your parents like that? Have you no filial respect? I'm not lying. Check. The officer verified that Jason's parents were deceased. I had no choice but to call Oliver. Not long after I got home, Sophia arrived, furious. It was the first time I'd seen her really angry. What are you trying to do? Didn't I warn you not to lead Jason down the wrong path? I was stunned. Why are you looking at me like that? Not saying anything? She glared. Did you or did you not take Jason to a fight and get arrested? It wasn't, I started to explain. But Jason rushed in and stood in front of me. Don't, sis. Don't get involved in men's business. I helped a friend. Blame me if you want. Sophia's face was pale with rage. Jason looked indifferent. I'm sorry, I said. I was impulsive. I shouldn't have called Jason. I apologize. It won't happen again. Ethan. Jason looked grateful. I want you and your family and friends to stay away from my brother. You're not worthy of being his friend. She grabbed Jason. You're not to see them again. Sis, that's too much. Jason pulled away. I stopped him. Jason, don't argue with your sister. Listen to her. Go home. But, go. He left. 2 days later, Camille brought me the second batch of evidence. I was stunned. During her investigation of Ivy's death, she had legally traced all related leads. She had fixed complete evidence for every company registered under Deng Qiming's name, even those registered under relatives. All were shell companies with no actual business premises. Under Deng Jing's internal cooperation, Deng Qiming sold inferior products at high prices to Katie. After each transaction, he dissolved the company. When Katie discovered the poor quality, there was no one to hold responsible. They had to buy replacements at higher cost. He would then register a new shell company and repeat the fraud. In just 3 years, he had registered 6 shell companies. Give these to Sophia. It will help Katie stop the losses and solidify the case against Deng Qiming. Thank you. I owe you a big meal. No need. She smiled slyly. I need a favor. My parents are pressuring me to find a boyfriend. You can pretend to be one. Just one meal. My mom is easygoing. My dad is a bit stern. Don't be nervous. I sighed and agreed. That night I photographed the evidence and sent it to Sophia. I didn't ask for thanks. I just hoped she wouldn't report Oliver. After she had scolded me last time, we hadn't spoken except for Jason's messages. She didn't reply. I lay in bed smoking, worried about Oliver. My mother called, to save money. Mom, why are you calling? How's work? Good, busy, don't worry. She paused. Tomorrow your father needs dialysis. I sold the laying hens. If you want eggs, buy some yourself. My heart ached. Mom, I got a bonus, 2,000 yuan. I'll send it tomorrow. I'll come home when I get paid. She started crying, saying she felt guilty. My heart grew heavier. I went to the gym to find Oliver. Jason was there every day getting fit. When he saw me, he insisted on taking the coaches to a bar. Yin Yihua thought it was too loud and suggested barbecue and beer on the street. The 7 or 8 of us ordered 2 cases of beer. Halfway through, 20 men with sticks surrounded us. The leader was the guy we had beaten at the college bar. Step aside. I'm here for him. He pointed at Jason. Jason stood up. Scared of your numbers? Fight me one-on-one. You're outnumbered. Who's going to interfere? The guy was cocky. Oliver stood up. Buddy, back off. Let's settle this over drinks. The guy poured a beer, smirked at Jason. Kneel and drink this, and we're done. Jason cursed and threw the beer in his face. He grabbed a bottle to fight back, but the others raised their sticks. Jason froze. Derek Duan grew bolder. He pointed at his head. Hit me right here. I planned this. I'll show the video to Xiaoxin tomorrow and let her see how pathetic you are. You dare compete with me for a girl? You orphan. Beating you is just the first step. Your sister's time as chairman is over. Kneel and beg me, and maybe my father will keep supporting her. The crowd laughed. Jason's face was ashen, his hands shaking. We had 5 men. I was useless. Jason was scared, leaving only Oliver and 2 others. They had over 20. Mentioning Sophia made Jason relent. I give up. I'll kneel. His legs buckled. Oliver grabbed his shoulder with his left hand and with his right hand smashed a beer bottle over Derek's head. I thought Oliver had mellowed with age, but he was crazier than ever. As the bottle shattered, he stepped forward and kicked Derek 3 meters away. The 20 men surrounded us with sticks. At first they were cocky, but when Oliver cracked one of their heads and he ran, their morale collapsed. They all fled. I was stunned. Yin Yihua and the 2 female coaches hadn't fought or held anyone back. After the group ran off, they handed us tissues. Jason's face showed mixed emotions. Derek was the son of a Katie shareholder. Jason had been willing to back down to avoid causing trouble for Sophia. The police will come. Oliver told us to leave first. He would stay. No, Yin Yihua said. You can't go to the station right now. I'll stay with you, Jason said. Ethan, you go too. Don't worry your parents. He waved me away. Yin Yihua took me to her villa in an upscale neighborhood. I saw the Santana in her garage. Late at night, I covered my face, drove the Santana to a deserted dam by Dianchi Lake, released the handbrake, and pushed. The car slowly sank into the water. It was deep enough. I felt like something was going to happen. Sixth sense has no scientific basis but is terrifyingly accurate. The next morning, Yin Yihua took me to the police station to try to get Oliver released. The officer said Jason had been released after his sister paid the fine and compensation, but Oliver had been taken away for questioning related to the hit and run from half a month ago. I panicked. I called Jason 3 times, all off. Yin Yihua was calmer than before. We have to face whatever happens. I called Sophia. First time, no answer. Second time, Xiaoru answered. Don't call Miss Ling. She doesn't want to talk to you. I just want to know about Jason. Why was he released? But Oliver got tied to another case. Sophia took the phone. I warned you not to let Oliver lead Jason into trouble. Since you didn't listen, I had to stop it my way. She hung up. Yin Yihua said, she reported Oliver, didn't she? I nodded. She left to find her own solutions. I went to Katie to confront Sophia. I knew the layout. I pushed open her office door and slammed the desk. Tell me what you said. Sophia was serious. I can endure anything except Jason going down the wrong path. He's my only brother. My mother's dying wish was for me to take care of him. If anything happens to him, I can't face our parents or my future. And my big bro? I said, choking up. He took a beating standing up for Jason, and then got reported by his own side, which could cost him his life. Did you think about that? Was he really wrong? Do you know what happened? Does your conscience not hurt when you report him? I don't want to know. I just want Jason to grow up in a good environment, that's all. Tears fell. I pointed at her as I backed away. I hope knowing the truth, your conscience doesn't hurt. I left, heartbroken. Yin Yihua called. Ethan, give me your address. Turn off your phone. Don't contact anyone. Wait for me. Don't let official people find you, especially the police. If they can't find you, they can't take your statement. Don't say the wrong thing. When are you coming? Who are you bringing? Should I turn off my phone now? Our company lawyer. His name is Zhou Guofa. Trust him. Her family clearly had resources. Yin Yihua arrived with a middle-aged man in a gray suit carrying a briefcase. Call him Uncle Joe, she said. This is lawyer Zhou Guofa. We can trust him completely. Hello, Uncle Joe. Sorry to trouble you. Don't be polite. We're family. Zhou Guofa sat down. I need to know everything to handle the upcoming charges. Did you call Oliver the night of the accident? I nodded. I told him where the victim would be. I just wanted him to beat the guy up. I didn't expect. He raised his hand to slow me down. Did you call Oliver that night? What did you say? Do you know how to answer now? I understood. Did Oliver really hit someone? Did you see it with your own eyes? He pressed. I shook my head. You didn't see it, and no one told you. Why do you assume it was him? Does being at the scene mean involvement? Where was Oliver that night? You don't actually know, do you? You didn't see each other, right? Ethan, without evidence, an accusation doesn't hold up. Yin Yihua added, Uncle Joe has been a lawyer for over 20 years, with a 99% success rate. With him, Oliver will be cleared. Just stay calm. I nodded firmly. I know what to say and what not to say. Halfway through dinner, the police came. No doubt it was about Oliver. During questioning, the officer was stern. You know why you're here, right? Confess and get leniency. Resist and get severity. Your accomplices have already confessed. Think carefully about what you say. I've said everything before. Nothing to add. Don't be stubborn. I didn't do anything. I don't need leniency. I remembered Uncle Joe's advice. The police got nothing and told me to keep my phone on. As I left, it was already dark. I was anxious. If both Oliver and I went to prison, who would pay for my father's dialysis? The burden was crushing. The next day, Jason appeared after disappearing for 2 days. He knelt in front of me with a thud, crying, asking for forgiveness. I helped him up. I know you're loyal. This isn't really your fault. Don't take it to heart. Ethan, please forgive my sister. She's too worried about me. She's afraid Oliver will corrupt me. He was crying, but I didn't expect her to be so selfish. She locked me up for 2 days. I just had a big fight with her. Take me with you. I don't want to go home to her. I patted his shoulder. Ask Sophia to come out and talk. In Jason's living room, Sophia was already waiting. There was a fruit platter and coffee on the table. I sat across from her, silent. Her face showed guilt. I'm sorry. Jason told me everything. I didn't know it was like that. Jason added, Derek Dwan is the son of a major Katie shareholder. We both liked the same girl. Last time I took you to the bar to hit someone, that was the reason. His father threatened my sister. If I caused trouble, he wouldn't support her. He got more arrogant, took the girl and brought people to force me to kneel. I owe him too much. I sighed. It's done. Can't undo it. Reporting isn't a joke. Oliver was already a suspect. If convicted, it's intentional homicide and hit and run. Death sentence, life, or a long term. His life is over. I might go to prison too. I'm not afraid of that. But I have things I can't leave behind. I lit a cigarette. My father has kidney failure. He needs dialysis 2 or 3 times a week. My mother is a laid-off worker who sells sweet potatoes to support the family. I came to Kunming after high school to work, carrying bricks, hauling cement, delivering food. I scrimped and saved to send money home. Oliver isn't blood related, but he spent all his money on my father. Soon, maybe both of us will be in prison. Smoke burned. My heart bled. I took a hard drag, holding back tears. I'm not here to blame you or argue. I know you want what's best for Jason. I'm asking you, if I go to prison, can you take care of my parents? Send them a few thousand each month so my father can get dialysis. I know this is too much to ask, but I'm afraid if I don't ask now, I'll never get another chance. When I get out, I'll pay you back every cent. This is my only request. Please. I started to kneel. Jason rushed forward and knelt first, hugging me and crying. Ethan, don't worry. No matter what, I won't forget what you asked. Our dad's illness is on my mind. Even if I have to quit smoking and drinking and stop going to nightclubs, I'll make sure he has money for treatment. I can promise that. From today, your parents are my parents. I will always be your brother. Sophia got up from the sofa and left. Her eyes were red even though she tried to hide it. I believed Jason's promise. A few thousand yuan was nothing to him. That night he insisted on visiting my hometown to meet my parents. I thought I might be arrested soon anyway, so it was good to introduce them early. I drove him back in Sophia's white Range Rover. This car was a gift from Derek's father to try to marry Sophia. On the way, Jason told me many things. He and Sophia had only inherited Katie shares. Their grandfather left all the property in cash to their uncle Li Mingquan's business. They didn't have much cash. Sophia was good with money. She invested the living allowance their grandfather secretly gave her. That was also why he left her the chairman position. We drove over 4 hours, arriving at the small town at 1 in the morning. We found a hotel. Jason was confused why we didn't go straight home. I explained my father went to bed early and my mother needed rest. I didn't sleep well that night, thinking about how to tell my parents. The next morning we bought apples, a watermelon, and 2 jean of pork. My mother was selling sweet potatoes on the street corner. She was shocked to see me suddenly back, and in a nice car. She came over. Why are you back? Before I could answer, Jason called out, Mom. She turned to me, stunned. I said, this is my sworn brother Jason. Treat him like a son. Jason added, Mom, I've come to see you. Is Dad home? My mother was completely confused. I pushed her sweet potato cart. Close up early today. We'll have your wontons for lunch. I bought the meat. At home, my father was also happy. Jason called them Mom and Dad very sweetly. I told my parents he had no parents and lived with his sister. They immediately felt sorry for him and told him to bring his sister for holidays. After lunch, Jason insisted on washing the dishes. When a son comes home, he has to work. He said, I finally have a mom. I want to enjoy it. In the afternoon, I rested in my bedroom. It was a tiny room, less than 8 square meters, where Oliver and I used to live. On the wall was a yellowed poster of Bruce Lee, Oliver's childhood idol. Jason was fascinated. This is my idol now. I'll follow second brother. He picked up the nunchucks on the wall. Good feel. The wear is heavy. Did you practice with these? They're Oliver's. Take 'em if you like. He used to hit his own head practicing with those. Once he kept 17 or 18 people at bay with them in a fight. So cool. Jason said he would definitely learn from Oliver when he got back to Kunming. In the afternoon, we went to the market to buy fruit, vegetables, and meat, filling the fridge. I felt like I was settling my affairs. At dinner, my father asked, did you get into trouble in Kunming? Don't hide it. It feels better to say it. No, I denied. We're fine. We're busy with a project. I brought Jason to meet you. I don't know when I'll be back next. I'll let him come see you in my place. My father sighed. I've been a cripple all my life. I should have died sooner so I wouldn't drag you down. My mother interrupted him. You're not dragging anyone down. Live well. This family can't do without you. That night, Jason and I squeezed into one bed. Oliver used to sleep here. I was used to it. Jason was uncomfortable the first half of the night but eventually fell asleep. The next morning, the city police called. I said I was in my hometown. They immediately became suspicious. Are you trying to flee? I'll be there by 2 p.m., I said quickly. They agreed. After hanging up, I grew more nervous. Before leaving for Kunming, I bought an untraceable SIM card at the small-town train station and put it in Jason's phone. On the drive back, I called Yin Yihua. Ethan, are you okay? She answered immediately. I came home the night before last to arrange things. I feel like I won't have many days with my parents left, I sighed. This morning the city police told me to come in by 2 p.m. for questioning. What about Oliver? The police have him. He said the wrong thing during questioning, she said quietly. My heart raced. What did he say wrong? Is it serious? What should I say in my statement? At first he denied leaving the gym, but cameras showed him leaving. Then he said he couldn't remember where he went. She sighed. They traced his phone's activity and have identified him as the driver. They're just missing details. What do I do? I'll turn myself in. This is all because of me. Don't be impulsive, she said urgently. Oliver met with me. His only hope is you. He told me to protect you. He said you're your family's hope. Your parents depend on you. The police don't have enough evidence yet. I'm also trying to get him bail. Tears fell. Sister Hua, I understand. I'll listen to you. Good. Don't cry. Believe Oliver will be okay. I hung up and sobbed. Jason heard everything. He handed me tissues and cigarettes, apologizing constantly. I just hoped he would take care of my parents after Oliver and I were gone. Near Kunming, I still felt uneasy. After much hesitation, I called Camille. Finally calling me? I thought you'd wait until everything was over to thank me for the evidence, she said lightly. Let's not talk about that now, I said, holding back my sadness and panic. Camille, I'm really lost. Can I trust you completely? Of course. Because of what you and Ivy did for New, I consider you a friend. You can trust me completely. I took a breath and asked the question weighing on my heart. You already guessed it, didn't you? That I'm connected to the hit and run? There was silence for a few seconds. Ethan, police work relies on objective evidence, not guesses. Don't rush to conclusions. Don't scare yourself. Oliver was arrested. They've confirmed he was at the scene at the time. Someone reported him. He's already in custody. The police called me to come in by 2 p.m. I'm on my way. I have no idea what to do. Don't panic. Listen to me. Her voice was steady and strong, immediately calming me. First, during the critical time, you were in my car. Dashcam and traffic cameras confirm your alibi. That's ironclad. I will provide complete testimony and evidence to the investigators. Second, your call to Oliver and your mention of going to the Northern District. I was there with you. I'll explain everything truthfully. The police follow the principle of evidence and law. You should arrive in about an hour. Go in normally. Tell the truth. Don't carry extra mental burden. I'll finish my work and be there soon. Her voice was full of assurance. Don't be afraid. Trust me. See you soon. Will I really get out? I'm afraid once I go in, they'll detain me and I'll never see you again. No. Cooperating is your legal duty. You have a clear alibi. Just be truthful. You won't be detained. I'll be there soon. She hung up. I lit a cigarette. Jason, who had been driving, asked quietly, Ethan, do you really hate my sister? I was about to deny it when he continued. For this, I hate her too. I want to hit her. But she's my sister. She's always taken care of me. Apologies are useless. I promise, I will take care of our parents. I promise. I looked at him and nodded. No need for polite words. I trust you with my parents. As for hate, it's in the past. If you want people not to know, don't do it. Even if she hadn't reported him, the police would have found out eventually. Jason said nothing. Back in Kunming, we skipped lunch and went straight to the city police station. He said he'd wait at the gate. I told him to go home. I didn't dare say I might not come out. This interrogation was different. On both sides at 45-degree angles were light boxes. 4 officers were present. 2 asking questions, 1 filming with a DV, 1 recording on a computer. I sat down under pressure. With experience, I wasn't that nervous. They grilled me about my whereabouts at the time, the content of my call to Oliver, whether he knew about my conflict with Zhu DeLong. I answered as Camille had advised, tweaking small details. Oliver and I were just chatting. He asked what I was having for dinner. I said I was on my way to the Northern District Food Street, and a friend was taking me to eat. Due to our incomplete evidence verification, we have caused you trouble. Your suspicion has been preliminarily cleared. Thank you for your cooperation. After the interrogation ended, and we walked out of the investigation area, Camille returned to her playful self, smiling and taking my arm. So, weren't you scared? Let me introduce you. This is my father, also the head of this inspection team, Director Qin. You girl, mixing personal matters with work, he said helplessly, then looked at me. Xiao Chen, sorry for putting you through this. We only follow evidence, not relationships. We will never wrong an innocent person. Camille stuck out her tongue and bumped my arm. What are you standing there for? Say hello to my dad. Hello, Uncle Qin. First time meeting you, and in a place like this. It's a bit awkward, I said quickly. Nothing wrong with that, Director Qin laughed. First go home with Mumu. Your aunt is cooked. We'll talk tonight. It turned out Director Qin really thought I was Camille's boyfriend. Once in Camille's car, she complained, You heartless guy. You agreed to pretend to be my boyfriend, then turned off your phone and disappeared. I'm not hiding from you. I'll keep my promise. Your dad isn't that scary. That's in front of outsiders, she snorted. Be careful tonight. He has many ways to make you uncomfortable. But as long as my mom likes you, my dad won't lose his temper. How do I make your mom like me? I can't afford expensive gifts over 200 yuan, I said, scratching my head. She rolled her eyes. My family doesn't need gifts. There's only one way to please my mom. Take good care of me in front of her. Do I need to teach you that? Traffic was bad. By the time we arrived at Camille's neighborhood, it was already 4:30. I was nervous, but I had to face it. Camille lived in a luxury building with elevator-to-door access. In the elevator, she saw my nervousness, took my arm, and laughed. Relax. Even if you're a fake, act like a real one. Treat me the way you used to treat your girlfriends. Perform to the fullest. But I was still nervous. She rolled her eyes. When we entered, a middle-aged woman was cleaning the living room. Mom, she called, then turned to me. Ethan, this is my mother. Hello, Auntie, I said quickly. Camille's mother was very warm. She brought out slippers. I've wanted Mumu to bring you home for so long. This child always makes excuses, dating in secret. I didn't bring her because I thought I could find someone better, Camille said, putting on cute slippers. Oh, stop, her mother scolded. If you can get married, I'll burn incense. I think Ethan is just fine. She turned to me. Ethan, sit anywhere. Let me wash some fruit for you. No trouble, Auntie. I don't eat much fruit. I do, Camille said. I want the apple from last night. Go get it. Her mother went to the kitchen. We were alone in the living room. Sit here. I'll go change, she said. I leaned close and whispered, since we're a couple, aren't you inviting me to watch you change? She gave me a big eye roll. I noticed a treadmill, dumbbells, and boxing wraps in the corner of the living room. I imagined her in tight clothes with boxing gloves, pretty sexy and strong. A few minutes later, Camille came out in changed clothes. Her mother also came back with a fruit plate. Camille picked up an apple and handed it to me. Peel it for me. This child is spoiled rotten, her mother said, though her tone was full of affection. I smiled, took the apple and knife, and slowly peeled it. Her mother chatted with me, only saying Camille was naughty and stubborn, asking me to be patient. She didn't ask about my education, work, or family at all. Camille occasionally argued back, but her mother ignored her. I cut the peeled apple into small pieces. Camille sat cross-legged on the sofa playing a mobile game, opening her mouth with ah to signal me to feed her. I did so, and also gave half to her mother. Auntie, you have some too. I already had some this afternoon, she declined politely. Look at her, really spoiled. She turned to Camille. Stop playing games. Ethan is here for the first time. Keep him company. I'll go downstairs to buy some groceries. Ethan will stay for dinner. Before I could finish, Camille shouted, Ethan loves braised fish. I think you're the one who wants it, you little glutton. Her mother laughed. Camille laughed too. Ethan, you wait here. I'm going to the supermarket to buy fish. Be right back. Wait, I'll come too. Camille put down her phone. What are you going for? You'll just make a mess. Her mother glared, but Camille insisted. I had to go along too, acting as driver. Back home, Director Chin was also off work. Facing him, I couldn't help being nervous, maybe guilty about Oliver's case. He didn't ask about my education, work, income, or family. He just asked if I knew how to play chess. I wasn't good, but I played slowly and analyzed carefully. He kept saying, think slowly, no hurry. We played nearly an hour with no winner before Camille's mother called us to dinner. At dinner, Director Chin asked if I drank alcohol. I politely declined and had juice with Camille. I acted as a half-waiter, adding food to Camille's plate, trying to be attentive. After the meal, Camille asked me for a walk, but I said goodbye early. The chess game was left unfinished. In the elevator, I breathed a sigh of relief. Miss, we've left your house. You don't have to hold on so tight. Camille smiled playfully. Thumbs up, professional actor. Thanks. Your parents probably already know I'm a fake. Why else wouldn't they ask about my job, income, or family? No way. You did great. She said casually, my parents want my boyfriend to work in the public security system, so they don't care what you do now. Once it's official, they'll find you a respectable job. That made my heart skip. Having a father-in-law who was a public security department director did sound nice. But it was only a moment of self-indulgence. Camille drove me to the Guandu ancient town parking lot and went home. The next day, Camille came to my place with burgers and fried chicken. She had another idea about Oliver. Without evidence, indefinitely detaining a suspect was against protocol. She suggested using online public opinion to pressure the police. But I didn't know anyone in Self Media. I could only think of Jason. I called him. He answered excitedly. Ethan, you're awake. Are you busy? I need to tell you something. I'm busy. I have to stay here. Can't leave. What are you doing? I'm at the operating room door. Our dad is inside having surgery. It'll be over soon. Our dad is having surgery? I was confused. What's wrong with my dad? What surgery? Heh, I said our dad, Jason corrected. He's getting a kidney transplant. If it works, he won't need weekly dialysis anymore. A transplant is the real cure. I couldn't believe my ears. Yeah, he was bursting with pride. I haven't been idle this week. I found a kidney source, contacted the hospital, got a match in 3 days, negotiated the price, brought doctors to check, and flew mom and dad to Shanghai for the surgery. Pretty efficient, right? You'll have to treat me to skewers later. Jason, you're not joking. This isn't something to joke about. Mom and dad are with me in Shanghai. I told them you're busy. The transplant plus the kidney source costs at least 400,000 or 500,000. Don't worry about the money. Dad will be healthy soon. Next week we'll come back to Kunming for recovery. Once we're sure there's no rejection, he can be discharged. He paused. Mom just came out of the bathroom. I'll give her the phone. 10 seconds later, my mother's voice came through. Ethan, is that you? Mom, Jason brought you to Shanghai for a transplant? Why didn't you tell me? She was surprised. Jason said you knew. What's going on? It's okay. Just take care of Dad. I'll come tomorrow after the surgery. Plane tickets are expensive, and room and board here are too. I can take care of myself. You don't need to worry about me. The phone call is expensive too. Anything else to say to Jason? Give it back to him. The phone went back to Jason. He laughed. So, I didn't lie to you, did I? I took a deep breath. Thank you. I owe you one. From now on, I'll do anything you ask, even be your ox or your horse. Haha, forget the ox and horse. He changed his tone. How about being my brother-in-law? To tell you the truth, finding the kidney source and contacting the hospital, my sister thought of all that and led the way. I just accompanied Mom and Dad here. If you want to thank someone, thank her in person. Think about it. My sister is beautiful. You wouldn't lose out. I knew Jason was joking about the brother-in-law thing. He couldn't have arranged such a major thing as my father's transplant. Sophia must have been the one leading it. She was reliable, much more mature than Jason. After hanging up, I thought about how to thank Sophia. Camille had been listening. She picked up the last chicken wing. Your father is having surgery? Sophia arranged it? Probably out of guilt and pity. She smiled slightly. If she hadn't reported Oliver, the police wouldn't have targeted him. Consider it her buying peace of mind. Even so, I was still grateful to Sophia. I reached for a burger, but the whole bucket was empty, only a few fries left. Camille had eaten all the chicken wings and drumsticks. She noticed my look, and grinned sheepishly. Sorry, I didn't have lunch either. I forgot I bought this for you. Her playful personality was actually quite endearing. Camille stayed with me for over 2 hours before leaving. I was overwhelmed with emotion. Whatever Sophia's motives, I would remember her kindness. Several times I wanted to call and thank her, but I lost my nerve. The memory of her scolding me for corrupting Jason was still fresh. Although we had met at her house after that, we hadn't talked much. After I said what I needed, she went to her room. There was still a distance between us. After thinking it over all night, I decided to go to Katie and thank Sophia in person. As soon as I reached the office floor, I ran into a hurried Jay. What are you doing here? Looking for me, or looking for Sophia? Both. Thanks, Sophia, and find you for a drink tonight to vent my frustrations. I'd advise you to wait before seeing Sophia. Jay lowered his voice. She's in big trouble. This morning there was a board meeting. This afternoon, a staff meeting. They said she misused company funds, so her powers have been reduced. Li Mingquan is trying to take over as chairman. Jay looked around. It's not safe to talk here. Let's go to the Starbucks on the 3rd floor. I needed to see Sophia, but Jay warned me. Duan Jingnan is in her office. Derek Duan's father. You won't be able to see her right now. I had no choice but to follow Jay to Starbucks. We sat in a corner. Today's board meeting was called by Li Mingquan. Jay lowered his voice. The finance director, Dong Jing, reported that Sophia embezzled 800,000 yuan last week. Li Mingquan used that to propose reducing her authority. Now, any expense over 500,000 needs board approval. The power reduction has already been decided. But some shareholders gave her 3 days to explain where the money went. If she can explain, the decision can be reversed. 500,000 approval needed? Then the chairman is basically useless. I scratched my head. Exactly. Jay sipped his coffee. The company is deeply divided. Dong Jing is on Li Mingquan's side, and several shareholders follow him. But there are also major shareholders supporting Sophia. This afternoon's staff meeting also emphasized that all expenses need invoices and department head signatures. Just then, Dong Jing walked into Starbucks and sat diagonally across from me. She made a phone call. Don't worry, Mr. Lin. I have Sophia's email with her bank account information. The 800,000 was indeed transferred. She paused. She can't deny this. It's been over a week. No invoice, no receipt. Since I reported her, I've burned my bridges. You can't forget about me, Mr. Lin. Another pause. I understand. I have records of every department head's expenses. If anyone wants to dig deep, no one is clean. Let's wait and see. The accounts are all prepared. If you need financial info on anyone, I can provide it anytime. Dong Jing hung up. I whispered to Jay, is she threatening other employees? Jay nodded, and made a hushing gesture. The company is treacherous. Li Mingquan's group is determined to overthrow Sophia, and Dong Jing has the ironclad evidence of the 800,000. She's clearly left a trap for Sophia. After Dong Jing left, we returned to the office floor. Jay went to work, and I went to Sophia's office door. Xiaoru opened the door, her face unfriendly. "What do you want?" "It's that Director Chen who got fired after 3 days," she said to someone inside. Sophia's voice came from within. "Let her in, we'll talk alone." She handed me a glass of water with a smile. "Actually, I should have apologized sooner. Jason told me the whole story about that fight. I regret it. If you hadn't hit Derek Dwan, I might not have lost my mind and reported Oliver. I'm sorry." "Thank you," I said, looking at her. "I came to thank you. Without you, my father could never have afforded the transplant. I don't want to owe you, but I really don't have the money to pay you back right now." I was at a loss for words. In other circumstances, I would have joked about paying with my body, but that was inappropriate here. "Why aren't you saying anything?" she pressed. My face was red. I wanted to say, "If there's anything I can help with, just ask," but I knew I was useless, and saying it would be hypocritical. So I just didn't. More than anything, I wanted to thank her. Sophia smiled. "Then I'll just have to take your word for it. Isn't that what people say at drinking parties?" I sighed. "Don't tease me. I know you paid for my father's transplant mostly to ease your own guilt." She glared at me. "Ungrateful. Think whatever you want. You want to thank me? You don't want to owe me? Then go downstairs and buy me a Haagen-Dazs vanilla cone. Do that, and we're even." I was surprised. "Just that? What else?" she teased. "Then come back as security director?" That topic was too heavy. I just went downstairs and bought the ice cream. When I returned to the office, she was lying on the desk, chin in hands, daydreaming. I handed it over. "Vanilla." She lifted her eyelids, carefully tore open the wrapper, and licked it with her pink tongue. A satisfied smile spread across her face. "Satisfied?" "Super satisfied. I'll love Haagen-Dazs." She squinted. "Ethan, what's your favorite snack?" I shook my head. I don't really have childhood snack memories. If I had to choose, it would be those spicy 5 mouse sticks. You'd get oil all over your hands. My big bro used to steal other kids' snacks and give them to me. That's how we got ours. Sophia looked confused. She couldn't understand boys having to steal snacks. After finishing the cone, she suddenly asked, "Ethan, do you have any plans this afternoon?" "Why?" "I'll take you to Moon Bay." Later I learned that Moon Bay had a special attraction, bungee jumping. If I had known, I would never have come. I've been afraid of heights since childhood. Standing 100 meters up, looking down made me dizzy. Sophia strapped on her gear and looked at me. "Aren't you going to try? The feeling of the wind rushing past your ears can make you forget all your worries. It's like being reborn." "You're crazy," I warned. "What if something goes wrong? You'll be completely finished." She smiled carefreely. "That would be fine. Living is so tiring. Leaving in an accident wouldn't be so bad." With that, she spread her arms and jumped. I gripped the railing tightly and watched her figure shrink. A staff member asked, "Young man, want to try? It's exciting. Many people come here to experience the feeling of death. If you're not even afraid to die, what else is there to fear?" He continued, "That young lady who just jumped is a regular. She used to come alone. Today is the first time she brought someone. I'm quite surprised." "She comes often to court death?" I asked. "Just to relieve stress," he said with a smile. No, I said. "I haven't lived enough yet." I quickly dismissed the thought. I just wanted to leave as soon as possible. Half an hour later, I saw Sophia again. Something about her seemed different, but I couldn't say what. She rarely showed emotion, yet the feeling she gave off changed constantly. On the drive back to Kunming, she brought up Oliver voluntarily. "Is there any way to save him?" I casually mentioned that Zhu Daolong had used self-media to pressure us. Maybe we could use the same method to counter. I was just talking idly. I didn't expect that the next day, several local self-media accounts simultaneously published articles, instantly pushing the incident to the forefront. One article was particularly incisive, with a striking headline, "Local life account drives Ivy Lane, who saved Nunu, to suicide." The story of Ivy's suicide had already died down, but this article brought it back into public view. It not only accused the local life account of driving Ivy to death, but also provided detailed analysis, making it very convincing. Another article doxed Zhu Daolong and Tian Aifen, revealing that Tian Aifen had died in a car accident. Public opinion overwhelmingly agreed that she deserved it. These articles were strategically timed to follow the local life accounts post. WeChat public accounts can only post once per day. Even if Zhu Daolong wanted to defend himself, he'd have to wait until after midnight. That gave us plenty of time to steer public opinion. The next day, we could continue to attack his rebuttals. Without a doubt, this was Sophia's doing. I owed her another favor. The situation escalated. By the third day, public opinion had turned against Oliver. The police, lacking sufficient evidence to convict, had to release him temporarily. I wanted to see Oliver on his day of release, but Yin Yihua stopped me, saying his situation was still sensitive. Camille also called to warn me not to get too close to Oliver recently, and not to say too much on the phone. Investigative methods were much more sophisticated than I imagined. Using self-media to pressure the police was actually Camille's idea. She knew their weaknesses best. That afternoon on a crowded bus, I heard a sharp slap. A familiar voice said sternly, "Take your dirty hands off me." I looked toward the sound. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Sophia Lin on a public bus. I thought I was seeing things. Why would she be on a bus? The man she slapped was about 30, wearing glasses. The slap nearly knocked his glasses off. He was stunned for a moment. Then, under the gaze of all the passengers, he reluctantly challenged, "Who touched your butt? Do you have proof?" This enraged Sophia further. She raised her hand for another slap, but before it landed, the man caught her wrist. He held it high and announced to the crowd, "Everyone see that? This woman hit me and falsely accused me of touching her butt. Look at her." He stopped mid-sentence, because my fist had already connected with his face. The man cried out in pain, released Sophia's wrist, and staggered back, clutching his nose. I half-turned, shielding Sophia behind me, and looked at the man. "Did she say you touched her?" "No, so why are you so defensive?" A passenger looked at him with disdain. "You look like a pervert, shameless, bus groper. Hit him." Someone in the crowd shouted. The person nearest him kicked him. Others joined in with kicks, though no one really landed a serious blow. The man was kicked to the front of the bus, and crouched by the door, not daring to move. I didn't participate much in the ensuing scuffle. Sophia stood beside me, looking wronged. I wanted to take her back to my seat, but someone had already taken it. The bus stopped at a station. The man fled out the front door. A few passengers got off the back, opening up seats. Using my years of bus riding experience, I easily found a seat for Sophia. I stood next to her, placing one hand on the seat in front and the other on her chair, blocking other passengers from getting too close. "What are you doing? Are you stupid?" I was a bit annoyed. "I'm creating a barrier. Keep stray hands away. You can think of me as your bodyguard." She rolled her eyes. "I can't connect that posture with a bodyguard. You look more like you're catching a pig." "Catching a pig?" She realized she'd misspoken, and stopped arguing, turning her head to the window. I asked, "Are you on a bus to experience life?" She said naturally, "I'm experiencing life. Is that not allowed? Can we talk normally? It seems like we have to argue every time we meet. How about you tell me how it felt to have your butt grabbed?" She turned and glared at me, then went back to ignoring me. Was it just a casual joke? The bus swayed for 6 or 7 stops, nearing her residential complex. She stood up. "Move, I'm getting off." "Is that how you talk to your lifesaver? Can you be a little nicer?" "Lifesaver?" She smirked contemptuously. "What did you save me from? A pervert? Isn't that a fact? If someone helped me beat off a pervert, I'd definitely treat them to dinner. Is that an invitation to get off with you? What do you think?" I eagerly followed her off the bus. Near her complex was a commercial street. She led me straight there. "What do you want to eat? I'm home alone and don't feel like cooking." "Anything, as long as you're paying," I teased. "I don't care what we eat." Passers-by gave me dirty looks. They were probably thinking, how can this guy be so shameless? Sophia sighed. "Can you have a little dignity?" "What's wrong with my image?" I shrugged. She sighed again and walked into a Korean barbecue restaurant. She chose a booth. "Let's eat here. I don't want to walk another step with you on the street. It's embarrassing. You've been attacking me with cruel words all the way." I am magnanimous and won't hold a grudge. She didn't want to continue such a boring conversation. She looked at the menu and asked, "What are you doing for work now?" "Too much has been happening. I haven't really worked. I just do odd jobs when I can." "Seriously, Ethan, have you thought about coming back to Katie? Actually, many of the company's senior leaders think well of you. Even though you only worked for 3 days, the entire security department's image changed. Now the security director is He Da-Zhuang. I fired Sao Yue." She closed the menu and looked at me seriously. "Ethan, I think we should have a real talk today." We sat across from each other. She was serious, no trace of joking. "2 things, she began. "First, what I said before, I can't control Jason anymore. But can you talk to Oliver? Tell him not to take Jason into fights. If something happens to him, what would I do? Last time wasn't Oliver's fault, but I'm still worried. Do you understand?" "I do." "Second thing, about you. I really hope you'll come back to Katie." I stared at her in disbelief, trying to find the answer in her eyes. "Don't doubt my sincerity," Sophia explained. "I think you have ability. You only worked 3 days, but most of the security guards gave you good reviews. They said you have ideas, leadership, and they respect your style. Will you consider coming back? Finding a suitable job now isn't easy. If you just want $3,000 or $5,000 a month to get by, delivering food, being a guard, that's fine. I'm not looking down on those jobs. I just think you should think about long-term development, not just a few thousand yuan. What do you think?" Her words were sincere. I had always only thought about making money for my father's treatment. I never considered stability or career growth. I was deeply moved. After a moment, I nodded. Thank you. Everything you said is right. Let me think about it. We talked about school. She asked, were you a good student? You said you scored over 600 on the college exam but only got 60-something on Chinese because you skipped the essay. Her eyes widened in disbelief. We ate and chatted for nearly an hour. As we left, I asked sincerely, if I don't understand something, can I ask you? She said yes, anytime, but I had to buy her a meal. After this time, I felt my relationship with Sophia had changed somehow. 2 days later, Jason called. The transplant was very successful. No obvious signs of rejection. We're landing at Changshui Airport at 1. Come pick us up. The weight on my heart finally lifted. I immediately called Oliver to tell him, but he already knew. Jason trusted him more. After lunch, I rushed to the airport. At the domestic arrivals exit, Yin Yihua was leaning on Oliver. Nearby, Sophia sat alone reading documents. They clearly knew each other, but were pretending to be strangers. Ethan, you're here, Yin Yihua greeted me. I looked at Oliver. Are you going to start over? Get lost, he cursed. I walked towards Sophia. She didn't look up until I was right in front of her. She casually smoothed her hair. You got Jason's call? She put away her papers. Now that your father's condition is under control, you should be relieved, right? Thank you, I said from the heart. My mom's dumplings are really good. When he's stable, come to my house, and I'll have Mom make some for you. Deal. She agreed immediately. That's settled then. Just then, Jason came out with my parents. Oliver, Sister Hua, we're back. He waved. Oliver and Yin Yihua went to meet them. I said to Sophia, let's go see them. Sophia followed me. Oliver introduced Yin Yihua to my parents. After a few sentences, I asked, Dad, how do you feel? Much better. Thank goodness for Jason. Otherwise, I'd be completely finished. Dad was full of gratitude. Dad, Jason said affectionately, don't thank me. My sister arranged everything. Let me introduce you, Sophia. Dad said emotionally, young lady, thank you. Uncle, you're too kind, Sophia smiled. Jason and Ethan are close. He's like a son to you. We're family. Please don't stand on ceremony. Exactly, Jason agreed. Don't be polite. Let's not stand around at the airport. Oliver, let's go find a place to eat. The 5 of us walked to the parking lot. We were stunned to see Sophia driving a Buick GL8. Sophia, why are you driving this? Jason was shocked. Where's the Range Rover? I had someone take it to the dealer. No way, Jason argued. I just had it serviced before I left. How could it be due again? Did you get into an accident? A minor fender bender. No big deal. She changed the subject. Jason didn't press further. I stopped Sophia before she could get into the driver's seat. You're not used to driving this. Let me drive. She hesitated, then handed me the keys. Fine. I took them and stared into her eyes. Tell me the truth. Did you embezzle the company money to pay for my father's transplant? Your Range Rover isn't in service. You sold it to cover the shortfall, didn't you? She gave me a dismissive look. What does that have to do with you? She didn't give me a chance to ask more, walked around the car, and got into the passenger seat. Back in the city, we had a simple lunch, then went to the hospital to arrange recovery. All the fees were paid by Jason. The doctor said to stay for a week to half a month for observation. My parents thought it was unnecessary, but Sophia and Jason insisted. After settling them in, Sophia and Jason left. I stayed with my parents. My dad sat on the bed. The doctor said the stitches come out in 7 days, then another week of observation. A full half month. We already spent over 10 days in Shanghai, just 3 days in Kunming. It's a waste of money. Dad, the paperwork is done. Stay for a week at least. You've suffered from this disease for years. Just rest for a few days. Son, he said carefully, the surgery cost over 600,000, not counting flights and hotel. Your mother and I talked. We'll sell the house. If that's not enough, we'll figure something out. Sell the house? Where will you live? I was upset. Home is just a place, Mom chimed in. We can rent a small place. You and Oliver rarely come back. It's settled. Dad cut off my protest. Don't argue. I used to think I'd leave your mom a place to live. Now that I'm well, we can earn money again. You don't get to have an opinion. I'm more stubborn than you. You insisted on not going to college, and I respected that. I had nothing to say. He really was my father. In the evening, Oliver and Yin Yihua came. Oliver brought a lot of food, and Yin Yihua gave Mom a big red envelope. I pulled Oliver to the balcony. After making sure no one could hear, I whispered, is the heat still on? I'm not nervous, so why are you? Without enough evidence, they can't do anything to me. You handled that car pretty well. I scratched my head, smiling. The day I went to Sister Hua's place, I saw that car and didn't like it. Got rid of it that night. Is it safe? Safe. Dianchi is green this season. Polluted too. When the water clears up, that car will be too corroded to recognize. Oliver stood with one hand in his pocket, the other holding a cigarette, looking out the window. Don't mention that again. If the police find you, stick to what we said before. I've dealt with the police a lot lately. I know how to handle them. I smiled. He didn't say more. His calm was beyond me. I couldn't help asking, "Do you know how the police found you?" "Yes," he said calmly. "Jason told me everything." He said it so lightly, not wanting to elaborate. I tested. "Do you have any feelings about it? Any resentment towards Sophia?" "Of course I have resentment, and it's strong," he said. "But I can understand why she did it. Understanding doesn't mean forgiving. Not forgiving doesn't mean I need revenge. Your father's surgery was paid for with her money, hundreds of thousands. It would take us 10 years to earn that much. People need to be grateful. Even if we're not friends, we won't become enemies." I breathed a sigh of relief. "I'm glad to hear that. I was worried you'd do something extreme." He turned and looked at me. "Being stubborn doesn't mean I have no sense or feelings, you lowlife. If I could beat her up I would," he joked. Yin Yihua and my parents were chatting happily. I wanted to stay, but Oliver and my parents chased me away. They were worried I wouldn't be rested for work tomorrow. I didn't explain. It was fine that Oliver was there. I wanted to leave early anyway, not to rest, but because I suddenly wanted to see Sophia. Even just sit with her. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to say. At the gate of Sophia's upscale complex, the guard stopped me. Residents had to unlock the gate themselves. I was wondering whether to call, when Sophia arrived in a taxi, a designer bag on her arm. She got out and gave the driver 10 yuan. He gave her 5 back. She saw me and froze. "Why aren't you at the hospital with your parents? What are you doing here? Your heart is really big. Taking a taxi with a designer bag. Aren't you afraid of being robbed?" I crossed my arms. She smoothed her hair behind her ear. "Do you think a girl taking a taxi carries a real designer bag? Would a robber risk it for a 10 yuan knockoff?" I gave her a thumbs up. "You win. You think robbers have no brains?" She swiped her access card and led me into the complex. A breeze carried her scent. I turned to her. "I came to find out. Did you sell your Range Rover to pay for my father's transplant?" "Yes," she answered casually. "Jason and I only have shares in Katie. We live on our salaries. We don't have 700,000 or 800,000 in savings. I had to sell the car." "You embezzled the money first, then sold the car to cover it, right?" She stopped walking. "Why did you do it? Just to buy yourself peace of mind?" I regretted it as soon as I said it. That was too harsh. She continued walking. "Don't worry about my motives. You don't need to know. I'm not asking you to pay me back." "Why are you so nervous?" I grabbed her arm. "Thank you. Whatever your motives, I am genuinely grateful. I don't know how to repay you, but I want to do something for you." She looked at my face, then at my hand holding her arm. "Don't say you'll repay me with your body. I can't handle that." I quickly let go. "I'm serious. Don't brush me off." She shrugged. "Just don't corrupt Jason. That's all I ask." She turned and walked toward her building. After a few steps, she stopped and looked back. "What are you thinking? Not coming up? Can't get in without me? Seeing that you're okay is enough. I should go. Good night." "Whatever you say." She turned gracefully and disappeared into the building. I still don't know her real reason for helping me. Peace of mind? Regret? I'll never get a clear answer, so I let it go. Leaving the complex, I splurged on a pack of 22 yuan Red Brand cigarettes to celebrate my father's recovery. I lit one and called Camille. Her ringtone was a funny dialect joke. It rang for over 10 seconds before she answered. Her first words? "Ethan, how was it? Wasn't it funny? You were the pig." "What pig?" I was confused. "You didn't hear it?" She sounded disappointed. "No, you have to listen again." She hung up. I sighed and called back. As soon as she answered, I said, "I heard it. I'm the pig. Don't hang up." She laughed. "Calling so late means you need something, right? How do you know?" Of course she was blunt. "When have you ever called me for no reason? You don't even like my posts on social media." I thought about it and realized she was right. I blushed a little. I couldn't find the right words. She sighed. "Fine, I won't hold it against you. What is it this time?" Her straightforwardness made me more embarrassed. I stammered. "How about I treat you to some bar music?" "Strange," she mused. "People usually go to bars to drink. Why are you talking about listening to music? Shouldn't it be drinking?" "I'm afraid if I say drink, you'll worry I have ulterior motives, like getting you drunk and taking you to a hotel." "Don't worry," she said breezily. "You won't get me drunk. Even if I were drunk, I wouldn't go to a hotel with you. Send me the address. I'm free today." I sent her the bar's address. It was a quiet, laid-back place. Snacks and beer were almost free. Even imported liquor was at cost. No risk of being overcharged. "Speak directly," she said, holding a beer mug. "What do you need to tell me?" "Help me gather evidence against Dong Jing and Deng Qiming for defrauding Katie. I really need it." She rolled her eyes. "I remember when I offered before you weren't interested. Now you want me to help? If I'm not mistaken, Sophia asked you to do this." "No, Ethan." She raised her voice. "Don't lie. You're bad at it. You get nervous, and I can tell immediately. I'm not lying." I looked at her honestly. "I want to help Sophia on my own. My father was sick for years, on dialysis. I didn't have the ability. In 4 years in Kunming, I never saved enough for his transplant. A while ago, Oliver helped Jason in a fight. Sophia mistakenly thought Oliver was leading him astray, so she reported him out of anger. I'm prepared for the worst. Oliver would be investigated. Likely death sentence, life, or a long term. I told Jason that if we got locked up, just take care of my father's dialysis. I'd pay him back after I got out. Then Sophia sent my father to Shanghai for the transplant. She used embezzled money. Deng Jing and Li Mingquan used that to attack her, called a board meeting, and reduced her power. She had to sell her Range Rover to cover the embezzlement. I feel like I should do something for her. That's why. I'm not lying. Camille listened carefully. Ethan, I believe you. That's exactly your personality. Someone treats you well, you repay them double. I've looked up Deng Qiming's records before. They can be used as evidence. I'll dig deeper into the transaction details, organize everything, and give it to you. We barely know each other, and you've helped me countless times. Besides saying thank you, I don't know what I can do for you. She squinted and smiled. Oh, there is something. Come home with me more often to see my parents. Last time, just that one meal, my mom loved you. She's been bugging me to bring you back. When are you free? Come with me to humor her. That'll stop her nagging. Don't worry, I won't interfere with your pursuit of Sophia. What? I exclaimed. Me pursuing Sophia? Don't play matchmaker. When did I say I was pursuing her? You don't need to say it. I can see it, she said proudly. When you talk about Sophia, your eyes get so gentle. Your voice lowers automatically, full of tenderness. Especially when you mention she sold her car for you. Your eyes were full of emotion. Don't think I don't notice these little details. You probably don't even notice them yourself. So I'm sure. As your fake boyfriend, I'll fully support you. Go get your goddess. I rolled my eyes. Absurd, you're completely guessing. She laughed. Someone is still half asleep. Stay that way. I'll get you the information as soon as possible. Don't forget what you promised me. Deal. I'll keep being your fake boyfriend, and I hope you find a real one soon. We chatted for over 2 hours. When I got home, I took a shower and sent a voice message to Jay. How are things at Katie? Any new moves against Sophia? Ethan, I was going to call you if you didn't call me. Jay was excited. Katie is about to have big trouble. After Sophia's embezzlement was exposed, shareholder support for her dropped significantly. Li Mingquan is using it to attack her and openly rally high-level employees to his side. Do people really follow him? It's not that simple. Sophia has already lost power. She's chairman in name only. Everyone sees that. Li Mingquan's influence and prestige have grown instead. I thought about it. Objectively, people would lose trust in Sophia. She did embezzle first, but I couldn't understand how she dared to embezzle at such a critical time. Jay sighed. Deng Jing is Li Mingquan's person. They control the financial power. By embezzling, she essentially gave up control of Katie. It's a huge loss. Hearing him say that, I realized how much risk Sophia had taken for me. She must have thought about the consequences, yet she did it anyway. The next day, I met Camille at the police station as arranged. After finishing her work, she came out with a sealed file. This contains all the evidence I gathered while investigating Ivy's death. The complete chain showing Deng Jing and Deng Qiming colluding with the procurement manager to defraud Katie. It's enough for you to file a criminal complaint. Follow the proper procedures. She handed me the file. Then she smiled. Speaking of which, you need to fulfill your promise. Tonight, I'll buy 2 roasted chickens and treat you to dinner. That's not good enough. She glared playfully. No deal. I'm still on duty. Remember your promise. I'll call you another day. Don't come tonight. I'm working. Just as she left, Jay sent a panicked message on WeChat. Ethan, big trouble at Katie. An emergency board meeting to remove Sophia from chairman and general manager. She might not survive this. Seeing his message, I panicked. I replied, what happened? How do you know? I've been monitoring top-level developments. Li Mingquan just announced a board meeting at 2:30. Co-workers say he's going to impeach Sophia and take over himself. I grabbed the file from Camille and rushed out. It was about 8 kilometers to Katie. I hailed an electric scooter taxi. The driver went fast, weaving through traffic. With the file in my left hand, I dialed Sophia with my right. It rang a few times, then was rejected. I called again. She answered quickly. Ethan, I'm in the middle of something. I'll call you back. She hung up before I could speak. The third call went straight to voicemail. I called Jay instead. He answered immediately. What's up? I'm on my way to Katie. I'll be a few minutes late. Help me sneak into the boardroom and hide your phone somewhere. Keep the call open so I can hear what's happening. What good will that do? Just do it. There's not much time. You know the layout. Okay. I gripped the phone tightly, urging the driver to go faster. Through the phone, I heard Jay's voice. Miss Lim, I have a document for you to review. Then, the board meeting is about to start. We can talk after. Then silence except for muffled chatter. An older voice said, Old shoe, what do you think? Li Mingquan calling a board meeting now. He must be confident he'll be elected chairman. The siblings fighting isn't good for shareholders. I support whoever can lead. Sophia has ability. Even in the off-season, occupancy was up 20% from last year. I'd still vote for her. But don't forget, she embezzled. Even if she paid it back, she never explained why. If she does that after only half a year, what will she do later? The board already restricted her power. Stop arguing. The future chairman is coming. Then Li Mingquan's voice. Everyone's here early. Sorry for the last-minute meeting. Ms. Lin isn't here yet. She wouldn't miss it, would she? How could she? Xiaoru's voice cut in. Do you especially wish she wouldn't come? Li Mingquan chuckled. Of course not. We're discussing something important. It wouldn't be right without Ms. Lin. Then, everyone's almost here. Let's begin. Sophia's voice came, calm and steady. Several shareholders jointly requested this meeting. Their combined shares exceed 40%. By convention, I respect their request. I declare the meeting open. What's on the agenda? Li Mingquan said. Since you're being direct, I'll be direct too. The current chairman and general manager embezzled company funds. Even after repayment, she has not provided a reasonable explanation to the board. This constitutes dereliction of duty. Today's board meeting has one purpose: to request a re-election of chairman and general manager. Chaos erupted on the phone. I urged the driver. Faster, I'll pay extra. Relax, the driver said helplessly. This is an electric scooter. It can't go as fast as a motorcycle. Almost there. After about 10 seconds of chaos, Sophia's calm voice returned. May I ask, how many of you agree with Li Mingquan's proposal? If more than half agree, I will accept it. Hold on, an elderly voice said. The room fell silent. Since Sophia took over Katie, performance has improved significantly. This year's growth is impressive. To impeach her just for embezzlement, that's a stretch. But today's election seems to be someone's carefully planned opportunity. As a shareholder, I support capable people. I hope the next chairman will be more capable than Sophia. Perhaps we should first see who is nominated, before deciding whether to re-elect. Elder Ye is right, someone said. I support his thoughtful approach. Li Mingquan laughed. Several shareholders have nominated me. If you have any candidates in mind, Elder Ye, please nominate them. We'll vote fairly and openly. Then I disagree with re-election, Elder Ye said. Your disagreement doesn't matter, someone else said. I support Li Mingquan. Me too. Others chimed in. I could only guess what was happening based on fragments. Everyone, quiet, Li Mingquan's voice. Let's do a simple count. Shareholders in favor of re-election, please vote now. I knew he had prepared for this. I was getting more and more anxious, urging the driver constantly. He ran a red light out of frustration, nearly giving me a heart attack. Votes are in. More than half support a change, Li Mingquan announced. By procedure, we first nominate candidates. I nominate myself. I nominate my sister, Jason shouted. Re-election doesn't mean she has no chance. I have 13% of shares. My sister has 13%. Together, that's 26%. Does anyone else support my sister? I do, an unfamiliar voice. Duan Jingnan, who held 4% of Katie's shares. Add that to mine, and it's enough. I understood. Duan Jingnan was Derek Duan's father. He had always wanted his son to be with Sophia. But Derek liked another shareholder's daughter. Any other nominations? Li Mingquan's voice showed disappointment. No? Then let's prepare for the vote. Ms. Lin, shall we begin? Begin, Sophia said flatly, as if resigned. Another voice said, we've reached this point. I have nothing more to say. I hope everyone votes carefully for someone who can lead Katie to better development. Finally, the scooter stopped in front of Katie. I threw 50 yuan at the driver and rushed inside. A guard stopped me. Who are you? Do you have an appointment? Need an elevator pass. Tell He Dazhuang that Director Chen is here. I'll come back to see him. I'm a Katie shareholder. I'm late for the board meeting. The guard half-doubtfully swiped me into the elevator. I added, tell He Dazhuang I'll give you a promotion. He grinned. Since there are no objections, let's begin voting, Li Mingquan said over the phone. The signal cut out in the elevator. I was so anxious I wished the elevator would fly. As soon as the doors opened, I sprinted toward the boardroom. I knew the layout from my brief time there. I reached the door in 40 seconds. I could hear the commotion inside. I took a deep breath, straightened my disheveled appearance, and gripped the file, my key to turning the tide. I pushed open the door. Silence. Everyone stared. Sophia's eyes showed surprise, but she remained calm. Li Mingquan stood up. Who are you? Who let you in? I ignored him, walked straight to Sophia, leaned down, and whispered loudly. Miss Lin, I've finished organizing the financial investigation documents. I can present them to everyone now. Would you like to announce the findings, or should I? You do it, she said calmly. I stood behind her, picked up a microphone, and looked around. Dang Jing was also present, along with many executives who were also minor shareholders. I handed the file to Xiaoru. Please project these on the screen. She did. Shareholders, these are our findings. I spoke into the mic. Everyone knows that Katie's procurement has been problematic for years. High-priced, low-quality hotel supplies have repeatedly caused complaints. Ms. Lin asked me to investigate privately. I have now gathered all the information. Please look at the screen. The screen showed the first supplier's company information. The legal representative of this company is Deng Qiming. Years ago, he had a cooperative deal with Katie. Xiaoru displayed the procurement contract. After the deal, the company quickly dissolved. Katie had no recourse and had to accept the loss. Later, Katie found a new partner. Xiaoru showed the second company. The legal representative is still Deng Qiming. Same pattern. After the transaction, the company vanished. I pointed to the third, fourth, the same. All the inferior supplies Katie purchased in recent years came from him. Every time Katie discovered the problem, they had to buy emergency replacements at higher prices, while Deng Qiming had already registered the next company. You must be wondering, who is he? And why did procurement keep cooperating with him? You're talking nonsense. A slightly overweight middle-aged man stood up and pointed at me. I'm the head of procurement. Where did you get these fake documents? If you don't explain, Don't rush, I said. The truth will come out soon enough. First, let me tell you who Deng Qiming is. Get out. Li Mingquan suddenly lost control. What nonsense are you spouting? Let him finish. An elderly shareholder with a dignified expression spoke. As shareholders, we have a right to know. Young man, continue. I nodded. Deng Qiming is the husband of finance director Deng Jing. Procurement requires leadership approval to get paid. Procurement repeatedly completed purchases and received payment. I'll let you all think about what that implies. I traced this from the inferior products. I have no concrete evidence beyond that, so I won't make baseless accusations. Today's election is to choose a new leader. I hope you will vote carefully. I placed the microphone in front of Sophia and stepped back respectfully. The boardroom fell into dead silence. After a minute, Elder Ye slammed the table. Procurement and finance, give me a reasonable explanation. I propose adjourning today's meeting. The leadership election is postponed. Well said. Jason was the first to raise his hand. I support adjourning. Continue with Sophia as chairman. Investigate the internal rot first, then hold the election. I agree. Me too. Others raised their hands. The board meeting was over. But Sophia didn't immediately adjourn. She looked at Li Mingquan. Brother, as chairman and general manager, I am ordering you to investigate this matter. Give all shareholders a reasonable explanation within 3 days. I was stunned. Sophia knew perfectly well that Li Mingquan and Deng Jing were in league. Why would she put him in charge of the investigation? Was she confused, or did she want to make peace with him? Li Mingquan also looked stunned. I glanced at Deng Jing. Her face was ashen, clearly terrified. Deng Qiming's operation was very covert. He dissolved each company after the deal, but Camille had unearthed all the companies registered under his name and his relatives' names. The projected documents detailed the relationships between each legal representative and Deng Qiming. I truly didn't understand why Sophia was giving the investigation to Li Mingquan. Wasn't she giving him a chance to cover it up? Fine, I will investigate thoroughly and report to the board as soon as possible, Li Mingquan said after a few seconds. Sophia nodded. Since everyone has proposed adjournment, this meeting is adjourned. She stood up and left. Xiaoru collected the documents and followed, signaling me with her eyes to come with her. In Sophia's office, Xiaoru excitedly slammed the documents on the desk and hugged her. Sophia, that was amazing. You turned it around. Why didn't you tell me Ethan was investigating all this? I was so worried. Let go, you're choking me. Sophia patted her back. Who said I knew in advance? Ethan's appearance was a complete surprise. Xiaoru let go and looked at me, then at Sophia. Really? You're not lying? No. Sophia shook her head. Xiaoru's excitement faded into suspicion. She stared at me. I raised my hands. Don't look at me like that. It's stressful. I've never liked you, she admitted. But this time, you did good. I won't give you dirty looks anymore. Xiaoru, go handle your work. I need to talk to Ethan alone, Sophia said. When we were alone, she said softly, I truly didn't expect you to show up at the most critical moment. I had already accepted losing my position. Li Mingquan had been planning for so long, and today he was determined to win. Your appearance ruined his plan. Why were you so ready to give up? I smiled. I gave you the evidence about Deng Jing and Deng Qiming defrauding the company before. Why didn't you use it? Everyone knows Deng Jing is on Li Mingquan's side. She looked pained. The internal struggles at Katie are more complicated than they seem. Li Mingquan is just a pawn for a larger faction. The power behind him is strong. Simply dealing with Deng Jing wouldn't change anything. I've only been in charge for a short time, and my foundation is weak. I didn't want to openly break with them. But today I was forced into a corner. I couldn't keep compromising. I see, I guessed. But you told Li Mingquan to investigate Deng Jing and procurement. That's just giving him a chance to cover it up. He'll protect her to save face, and things will go back to how they were. That's not really your goal, is it? Sophia smiled faintly. She didn't answer. Instead she asked, Ethan, what kind of girl do you think I am? I was startled. Why are you suddenly asking that? How should I know? Just say it. Whatever comes to mind. I hesitated, then blurted, you stop at nothing to achieve your goals. Why do you say that? Am I that ruthless? She seemed taken aback. It's true, I said with difficulty. Like reporting Oliver. You wanted to stop him from corrupting Jason. You didn't need to go to such an extreme, but you did it to get what you wanted. She took a deep breath. Okay, and for my father's transplant, you embezzled company money, letting Li Mingquan hold it against you. You didn't care about your own situation. You just wanted to get it done. That's also stopping at nothing. Really, thank you. My father's life has been so hard. Without you, I don't know how much longer he would have suffered. You've helped me a lot too. We're even. We chatted for a while, then I left. I had delivered food here before, but never visited at night. Sophia climbed onto the damn steps first, hopping up and down. You're so slow. Are you 80 years old? I took my time and sat on a bench. The lake reflected the lights, and a bright moon hung in the distance. The world fell silent. Sophia finished jumping and sat next to me. Ethan, do you like it here? Can we rest our souls here? I turned to look at her. Her hair blew in the wind, carrying her scent. She noticed me staring. What are you looking at? You seem very familiar with this place. She leaned back against the bench, gazing into the distance. I didn't see my father much as a child. I lived with my mother and brother. In 4th grade composition class, they asked us to write about my father. I didn't write a single word. I said I didn't have a father. The other students looked at me differently. My father always gave my mother a lot of money in secret, so we lived well, but my mother didn't work. Eventually kids started whispering behind my back that my mother was a prostitute, selling herself to pay for our schooling. Tears streamed down her face. I clumsily pulled out a crumpled tissue and handed it to her. I didn't know how to comfort her. I put my arm around her. She didn't resist. She leaned quietly on my shoulder. Ethan, neither of us has had a happy life, have we? She sobbed. I often dream of my mother. She always told me to take care of my brother. For her, I would do anything, including reporting Oliver. Ethan, I'm sorry. She cried harder, her body shaking, her tears soaking my shoulder. I realized I wasn't the only one in pain. Without thinking, I kissed her forehead and held her tighter, afraid she'd notice my awkwardness. But she did notice, and strangely, she didn't call me out on it. Late at night, we stayed like that. After a long time, she said softly, Ethan, I'm cold. Let's go back. Don't catch cold. I'm fine. I let go. Do you have a jacket in the car? I want to sit a little longer. No. I took off my jacket and put it over her shoulders. Let's walk along the dam. Sitting still makes you colder. She wore my jacket and walked close to me. I wanted to hold her hand, but was afraid of being too forward. I restrained myself. When I'm stressed, I come here, she said softly. Open spaces clear my head. I'm used to coming here, to think and cry alone. Ethan, she interrupted. Can you please not call me by my full name, just Sophia? It feels so formal. Or do you only think of me as a casual friend? No. I was afraid you'd be upset. She forced a smile. Everyone should have a few close friends. I've already cried in front of you. Do you think I still see you as just a casual friend? Not even a best friend? I didn't know how to respond. Her voice was very soft. Anyway, I won't be mad if you call me that. Hearing her say that, my heart fluttered a little. I felt like her attitude toward me had changed. I asked casually, how's the company? Is Li Mingquan giving you any trouble? Has he finished his investigation? Why did you let him investigate Deng Jing? Doesn't that contradict your goal? Everyone knows Deng Jing is his person. She sighed. That day at the board meeting, by saying that in front of everyone, I forced him to deal with it. He'll protect her and try to sweep it under the rug. But I'm not giving him that chance. When we talked business, she became decisive. I'm suing Deng Jing. This isn't an internal company matter anymore. She faces prison. If this blows up, Li Mingquan won't escape either. He can't protect her. He's in a dilemma now. If he protects Deng Jing, he exposes himself. If he lets her take the fall, he loses the loyalty of others. It's a battle of wits. We'll see how he responds. I was stunned. I hadn't expected such careful planning. In just a few dozen minutes at the board meeting, she had set up such a huge trap. Old Mr. Li had been wise to leave Katie to her. She had both a vulnerable side and a sharp strategic side. Anyone who underestimated her would pay a price. For some reason, that thought made me happy. Oh, she stopped walking and looked at me. Where did you get those investigation documents? There must be someone behind you, and you're close to them, right? Even our lawyers were shocked. Can you arrange for me to meet them? I want to thank them in person. Also, I have another important thing to ask for their help. Meeting with Camille? I hadn't thought of that. I never imagined Sophia and Camille crossing paths. Seeing my hesitation, she asked carefully, is it inconvenient? If so, just thank them for me. No, I explained. I just didn't expect you'd want to meet her. I'll try to arrange it. See how she feels. The fewer people who know about Deng Jing's investigation, the better. It's not exactly through official channels. She probably wouldn't want to discuss it. I understand. She smiled. It's late, let's go back. At 1 a.m. I drove her home. At 1:30 I returned to the bar. Old Joe hadn't slept yet. He sat in a booth, reading by a lamp, a pot of coffee on the table. I put the car keys on the table, thanked him, and left. The next day, Sophia called. It's Friday. Let's go to the hospital together, to see your parents. Jason said they're demanding to be discharged again. He can't stop them. The son needs to go himself. I sighed. Fine. I'll go soon. Come to Katie after work. I'll wait. At 6:15, I arrived at Katie. Sophia was alone in her office, surrounded by endless paperwork. Need an assistant? I know a few guys. They're good with paperwork, I joked. Sure, she said casually. Come tomorrow and be my secretary. Then you need to buy me an electric scooter first. Mine was stolen here, and you never helped me find it. She put down her pen and looked up. Let's go now. I'll buy you one. But you have to keep your word. Pick me up every morning for work. I chickened out. I scratched my head and changed the subject. Let's go to the hospital first. Deal with the old folks. Then we can talk about it. She didn't push. She picked up her bag and walked beside me. At the hospital, in the private room, Jason was playing chess with my dad. My mom had wiped the room spotless. Sophia bought some expensive fruit outside before coming in. Brother-in-law, you brought my sister to see our parents? Are you going to confess your relationship? Jason shouted as soon as we walked in. The word brother-in-law shocked both Sophia and me. Her face flushed, and she glanced at me. My parents also stared at us blankly. Don't talk nonsense. I put the fruit on the table. Why not? Jason was confident. Are you worried Mom and Dad won't approve? What's there to hide? My mom took it seriously. Son, are you and Sophia dating? No, don't listen to Jason's nonsense, my mom said with regret. That's right. Someone like Sophia, how could she be interested in you? Auntie, don't say that, Sophia said gently. Ethan is responsible and filial. I sat on the sofa next to my dad. I heard you want to be discharged. You've only been here 3 or 4 days. Didn't we agree on a week? Dad glared. A bed here costs over $600 a day. I can't afford it. Now that you're here, we'll do the paperwork tomorrow morning. I'm going home. He didn't care about others' concern, just saving money. I was embarrassed and got firm. Did I agree to your discharge? Do I need your permission? He was even louder. The air filled with tension. A family argument was about to erupt. My dad is more stubborn than me. We've been through this. I raised my voice too. You just had surgery. Jason and Sophia spent hundreds of thousands to make you healthy. You've spent the big money. Why skimp on observation? Can you just listen? I know my own body. Don't lecture me. Stop arguing, my mom interceded. You two can't be in the same room without fighting. Talk nicely. Everyone leave, my dad said coldly. I need to talk to this brat alone. Dad, Jason tried to soothe him. My brother-in-law means well. Don't be angry. The bed fee is nothing. Child, my dad softened his tone toward Jason. You and Sophia go buy some dinner. I'll talk to Ethan alone. Sophia gave me a sympathetic look and followed my mom out. Jason was last, making a funny face at me. Alone in the room, we were silent for a long time. I'm not being unreasonable, my dad finally said. I'm worried Sophia will see us as a burden. If she's dating you, she'll think about family. Who wants to marry into a family with in-laws to care for? If I get discharged early, it proves I'm healthy enough. I don't want to be a problem. I'm not dating Sophia. Jason is talking nonsense. It doesn't matter what Jason says. Sophia is a good girl. What's not good enough for you? Jason treats you like a brother, and she genuinely cares for us. Don't you want to make it official? Dad, I pleaded, be realistic. There's no chance between us. Why would she want me? In my eyes, my son is the best, and I can see Sophia likes you too. Stop, I said. Let's not discuss this. Then I want to be discharged, he threatened like a stubborn child. If you don't get together with Sophia, I'm leaving. He looked proud of himself. Your mother and I already decided. We like Sophia. Fine, I conceded. Stay in the hospital. We'll talk about the rest later. Jason returned with 6 food containers, 4 meat dishes, 2 vegetable, plus pork rib soup. It was clearly his doing. My mom would never spend that much. How much did this cost? Dad muttered again, worried about the money. Dad, it's nothing, Jason laughed. When you're discharged, I'll take my sister back to our house, and Mom will make dumplings. I didn't get enough last time. Okay. My mom couldn't stop smiling. I'll make dumplings when you're discharged. The atmosphere felt strange to me. After dinner, Sophia and I left the hospital. I apologized. My parents were talking nonsense today. Don't take it seriously. What do you mean? She feigned ignorance. What did they say? The part about you being their future daughter-in-law? Don't worry. I know you'd never be with me. Suddenly, without warning, she asked, Then why did you kiss me? I was speechless. My face turned red to my neck. She had known all along. I quickly took out a cigarette and pretended to lose my lighter. I'll go buy a lighter. I turned and ran before she could respond. From him, I learned that Deng Jing and her husband Deng Qiming had both been arrested. When? I was very surprised. The day after the board meeting, Deng Jing was taken away by people in uniform at the company. I heard Deng Qiming was also arrested for fraud and tax evasion. Monday will probably bring even bigger news. Deng Jing and Deng Qiming arrested. What about Nunu? I immediately called Camille. She already knew and told me that Nunu's grandmother had come to Kunming the day before. She had put them up in the police station's guest house. After hanging up, I said to Jay, I have to go to the police station. Urgent. Need help? He was very loyal. Not for now. I rushed out of the hot pot restaurant and took a taxi to the station. I hadn't seen Nunu in a long time. I wondered if she still remembered me. I also thought of Ivy. Her final wish might become a regret. At the station, Camille in uniform was at the front desk helping an elderly person fill out a form. When she saw me, she said to a colleague, "Cover for me for a minute, I need the restroom." Then she signaled me to go toward the guest house. I went around the back. Camille was already waiting, arms crossed, with a mix of challenge and complaint. "So you've finally come for someone else. In all the time we've known each other, you've never once come just for me." I was about to make an excuse, I started, but she cut me off. "Am I right? Can you deny that you've ever come just for me?" I couldn't argue. "Fine, I'll do better next time. Actually, I was thinking of asking you to a movie, but I was afraid you'd be too busy and say no." "Poofed," she sneered. "Excuses. Try next time. Come on, I'll take you to see the old lady and Nunu." "Thank you." Who asked me to be a people's police officer? She was proud. Nunu's mother, Quilan, still hadn't been found. She had been listed as a missing person. "Is Nunu okay? Does she remember you?" "Of course. When I hold her, she kisses my cheek." On the third floor of the guest house, Nunu was writing at a desk. Her grandmother was crocheting slippers. When they saw me, the old woman stood up happily and took my hand. "Ethan, are you okay? You've lost weight." "I'm fine. Work is hard, but it's okay." She called Nunu over. Nunu had already seen me. She stood quietly and said hello. I picked her up. "Are you happy at your dad's? Are you going to kindergarten?" Nunu nodded, then shook her head. "Why both? School is happy, home is not. I want to be with Grandma." The grandmother sighed. Deng Qiming took Nunu, but he never contacted me again. "No," the old woman said forgivingly. "Young people are busy with work. As long as he takes good care of Nunu, that's fine." I couldn't bear to tell her that Deng Qiming's business wasn't legitimate, nor that his arrest was related to us. We chatted for a while, then made an excuse to leave. Outside the building, Camille asked nervously, "If the old lady finds out Deng Qiming's arrest had to do with us, will she hate us?" "I don't know." I looked back. The old woman seems understanding. Probably for Nunu's sake. "What now?" "Sophia isn't letting them off. The legal process will take 3 to 5 years. I'm worried about Nunu. She just found her father, and now she might lose him. Can she handle it at such a young age?" "We need to use you to get close to Deng Qiming to investigate Quilan's whereabouts," I continued. "We both suspect the worst, but I hope we're wrong. And Quilan is still alive." Camille sighed. "That's the only way. If we find her mother, Nunu would be better off with her than with her father. At least she'd avoid a stepmother." She shuddered. "Stepmothers are terrifying." I didn't do anything all day. That evening, I hung out at Old Joe's bar for a while, then squatted on the street smoking. When the streetlights came on, a pair of red high heels appeared in front of my cigarette butts. I looked up instinctively. Sophia was standing there. "You're here," I said, not getting up. "Not welcome? Of course you're welcome." I stood up. "My landlord Old Joe has a quiet bar. You guys keep him in business. What would you like today?" "Coffee, brewed by you." "Do I look like I know how to brew coffee?" Old Joe laughed from behind the bar. "Come on, I'll teach you." A few minutes later, I brought coffee to Sophia and sat across from her. "Boss, please enjoy. Anything else? I need someone to talk to." "About what?" "Is this how you treat a customer? Shouldn't you be starting the conversation?" "I'm not in a good mood today. Haven't eaten all day. I'm too hungry to talk." "Want to eat something?" "My treat." "Forget it. No appetite." "You came all this way just for coffee?" Sophia sighed. "Duanjing Nan came to see me today." "Duanjing Nan? I remembered he was a major shareholder. His son Derek had been beaten by Jason and me." "What did he want? Still trying to set you up with his son?" "The company is about to have another shareholder vote for chairman and general manager. Last time, Li Mingquan didn't succeed, but since I was formally demoted, there needs to be a proper re-election. Duanjing Nan said he would support me." "I guess there was more to it," she said. Duanjing Nan noticed I haven't been driving lately. He connected it to the embezzlement, and asked if I sold the car to cover it. "What did you say?" Duanjing Nan is quite calculating. She sipped her coffee calmly. I told the truth. Lying would be useless. "He offered to buy me a new car." "Treating you so well?" "He and my father were close. I call him Uncle Duan." But I declined. "Taking the subway is fine. If I need a car for work, the company has one." I took a deep breath. "Tomorrow I'll buy a lottery ticket. If I win 5 million, I'll pay you back the few 100,000. Could you have a little ambition?" She was dismissive. "What kind of man pins his hopes on the lottery? That's just pathetic." I was just saying. "I don't want to hear it." "Fine. Something you will like. You look beautiful today." That satisfied her. She gave me a sidelong glare. "Take me for a walk in the ancient town. Isn't it lively at night? I've barely ever been. Let's go." Free guided tour. Guangdu ancient town at night was indeed lively. The flagstone streets were lined with food stalls. Middle-aged women danced in the square. Children laughed and played. Sophia was fascinated by the cheap trinkets. She stopped every few steps to look, bargaining without buying. I had to follow her back and forth. 2 children ran straight into her. She cried out in pain. The boy in front said sorry and ran off. Are you okay? Did it hurt? I asked. I twisted my ankle. It hurts. Help me. Her eyes were teary. I put my arm around her waist. First, stand up. See if it's serious. Probably just a sprain. I helped her sit on a bench. I saw an old man selling cotton candy on a bicycle. Wait here. Are you abandoning me? Just wait. I spent 5 won on a giant cotton candy. When I came back, Sophia was covering her mouth in excitement. People had gathered around, thinking I was proposing. Some were filming with their phones. Do me a favor and take it, I said softly. So many people are watching. She took the cotton candy, hid her face behind it, and reached out her hand to me. Pull me up. I'm so embarrassed. It was the first time I held her hand. Her fingers were long and slender, very comfortable to hold. Under everyone's gaze, she pressed close to me as we walked away. Do you think anyone will post that video online? She asked. Confessing with cotton candy is cheaper than roses, I teased. What kind of confession is that? She was dismissive. The internet will exaggerate. They'll say an old pervert lured a little girl with cotton candy. You're not a little girl. She glared at me. I didn't dare say more. Back at the bar, I took Sophia upstairs. My bedroom was on the left. Old Joe's was on the right. Your place is so small, she said in surprise. It's fine. The bed is 1.5 meters wide. Comfortable is what matters. I don't have many clothes. 1 suitcase is enough. Why need a lot of space? I fell backward onto the bed. See? The mattress is great. Want to try it? To my surprise, she lay down next to me, her head on my arm. It felt wonderful. She turned slightly and whispered, Am I hurting your arm? No. I bent my arm and put it around her, staring at the ceiling. So? Comfortable, right? Harder than your luxury suite at Katie, I bet. She lay in my arms, unfazed. Hard is fine. Sleeping on a firm bed is good for your back. Traditional Chinese medicine says so. Less spinal problems. I gently placed my hand on her waist. Isn't hugging warmer? Why are you hugging me? She said it, but she didn't move away or push my hand. I shamelessly said, a beautiful woman with a great figure throws herself into my arms. It would be a shame not to hug her. Before I finished, she slapped my stomach. I yelled in pain. She got up, gave me a look that said pervert, and walked out. I quickly scrambled to follow. I found her, leaning on the wooden railing of the second-floor hallway, staring at the small abandoned pond below. What are you thinking? I walked to her side. I thought she was still angry and was ready to apologize. Ethan, look how beautiful this pond is, she said softly, surrounded by flagstones. If we planted water plants, put up a pergola, and placed some tables and chairs, we could sit here in the afternoon, drinking tea, enjoying the breeze. It would be wonderful. Great idea. Just thinking about it feels relaxing. I went along. Why don't you talk to old Joe about it? Open a back door, put a pergola over the first-floor roof, add a few chairs. I'd fall in love with this place. Okay, I'll help you build it. Then you can enjoy it, I responded instinctively. It's settled. Doesn't Katie's 8th-floor sky garden have something similar? Why don't you enjoy it there? Too many people there. All hotel guests. It's not appropriate to go during work hours. True. I'm going back. She looked at me. When I have time, I'll come find you again. Walk with me. Buy cotton candy. I'll walk you. No need. She left just 2 words. Silly. Her footsteps echoed down the stairs. I leaned on the railing, staring at the pond. Maybe planting some water plants would really look nice. The next morning, I got ready to go out. Old Joe was sweeping downstairs. New job so early? No. Going to Dunan Flower Market to buy some aquatic plant seeds. What for? Yesterday Sophia and I discovered that pond downstairs could be used. Open a back door, put up a pergola, tables, chairs, plant some greenery. It would be nice for afternoon tea. Old Joe chuckled. Why do I feel like you're like a young man in love, getting a hint from the girl you like, and going all out? Nonsense. There's no way she'd be interested in me. More importantly, are you interested in her? If you are, go for it. Don't regret it later. I felt shy and stupid. I have no experience. Go buy the seeds. I'll come back and we'll fix it up together. Old Joe's words got my blood pumping, but then I remembered my poor, pathetic self and felt insecure. Wasn't this like a toad wanting to eat swan meat? But I went anyway. At least it gave me something to do. The next day when I got up and went downstairs, Old Joe had already set up a pergola by the back door and the pond. A hanging egg chair and a swing were neatly arranged. The morning sun cast a quiet glow. I picked up a watering can and watered all the plants in the bar. Old Joe lived like an immortal, watering flowers, reading, painting, drinking. At noon, Old Joe made noodles with poached eggs. We were just sitting down to eat when Sophia arrived. You two eat well? She looked at us. Pretty good. Want some? Old Joe offered. There's more in the kitchen. I already ate. She made an excuse. I'll go to the back and take a look at our little pond. I said to her, old Joe already set it up. There's an egg chair too. What egg chair? You'll see when you get there, I smiled. The egg chair is a hanging chair. Very comfortable. Sophia walked to the back door in her high heels and stared at the pond. How is it? Old Joe's taste is decent, right? I stood beside her. It's great, just needs some greenery. Don't rush. I planted seeds yesterday. They'll grow in a month or two. She rolled her eyes. That will take forever. Just buy grown plants. In a few months, winter will come. Even if Kunming is warm, who will sit outside then? Most Kunming homes don't have air conditioning. It's colder inside in winter than outside. Come back to Katie's security department, I said. I'm worried about you. Li Mingquan is so ruthless. I want to be by your side. She stopped walking, looked at me warmly, then suddenly stood on her toes and kissed my cheek. Her face red, she said, silly. My heart skipped a beat. All my confusion and fear seemed to find a home. The next morning, Sophia came to pick me up on time, bringing breakfast. We went to the hospital. Oliver and Yin Yihua were also there. The whole family bustled around. Sophia didn't act like a chairman at all. She helped pack things. The way my parents looked at her, they were clearly fond of her. On the drive back to my hometown, Sophia stayed with us. When we arrived, she helped my mother clean and make dumplings, busily cheerful. That night, there was nowhere for her to sleep. Jason deliberately took up the other room. Sophia looked a little scared. Ethan, will you stay here tonight? I'm a little scared alone. I nodded and stayed with her at the best hotel in town. That night, we shared a bed, but kept our boundaries. She lay in my arms, telling me about Katie's difficulties and her exhaustion. I held her gently. For the first time, I realized how warm it felt to have someone by your side. Back in Kunming, Sophia surprised me. She made me deputy director of the planning department, responsible for off-season promotions. At first I was nervous, afraid I'd fail. But she kept encouraging me, attending meetings with me, helping me find my footing. Work gradually fell into place, and I slowly climbed out of my previous slump. I continued helping Camille with her fake boyfriend duties, but Sophia was always by my side, helping me grow, helping me solve every problem. I stopped feeling lost and stopped running away. Finally, one evening as the sun set, I took Sophia's hand and said, Sophia, before, I couldn't see my own heart. But after meeting you, I realized that all I ever wanted was you. Sophia smiled and nodded, her eyes shining. She held my hand tightly. Together, we eventually resolved the internal power struggles at Katie. Li Mingquan's schemes were exposed, and he received his due punishment. My parents lived peacefully in our hometown, no longer needing to struggle so hard. Camille found her own happiness. Sophia and I didn't have a dramatic confession scene, but we had the steady companionship of everyday life. Every day, we go to Katie together. When we have time, we go back to Guandu Ancient Town to eat old Joe's noodles, or sit by the little pond, looking at the greenery that grew from the seeds I planted, chatting about trivial things. Once, I thought my days would only be gray. Then Sophia came, like a beam of light illuminating all my confusion. And now, I am still learning, still growing. One day, I will be a strong tree, shielding her from all the storms.